Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to the MODUS Super Series. And you've just joined us from the cricket. Well, there's some good news for you because there's plenty of sixes here tonight in Group B at the live lounging portal. In fact, three of them, 3 players on 6 points at the top of the group. And it may well be some smash and grab action as well. But the boundaries are very high because the final is within touching distance. But who is going to be stumped at the final hurdle? It was a pointless night for Stu Wilson last night, losing all 4 of his matches, and ahead of his ADC belt game tomorrow, will be hoping to get some wins that will spring some confidence to the board. It was a night of frustration though for Thibaut Tricol. Just the one victory to his name means that the French touch may be seeing finals night out of his reach. Crocodile Dundee got his teeth sunk into Group B. Got off to a fantastic start. 3 wins from his first 4 matches. He's one of 3 players who find themselves on 6 points. The question was, how can Adam Hunt respond from his Group A setback? Well, he bookended the night in superb fashion. Picking up 1 more win in the middle, he finds himself in 2nd spot. But it was the Prince who reigned on night 1, Chaz Barstow winning each of his opening 3 matches. In fact, he won 15 out of a possible 16 legs. He's top of the pile. Indeed, Chaz is top of the charts. We haven't got Dave alongside me up here on the balcony, but we do have prime time himself, Matthew Edgar, for some Friday night under the lights, and this should be an interesting Group B.
It looks on paper that it's pretty much all done and dusted when you look at the table and you think the early fixtures are going to be vital, but I think there's a lot of darts to be played here. We look at Thibaut Tricol as the man just outside. This is a guy who can go through the card and can really upset the apple cart here. I think this is not as closed book as it may look on first impressions.
And Thibaut Tricol, the type of player we saw during his Lakeside campaign, was able to, on many occasions, come back from behind. I remember the game against Sean Burton, the first round of that competition, where he had to survive multiple handfuls of match darts in that game. So it's one thing we know he can do, that's sticking to a task.
Well, you talk about that fighting quality. We also talk about the quality in terms of what he can produce on the dartboard. We saw that at the World Cup when he represented France alongside Jacob Laab. And we know he's got the quality. He's not shown it consistently yet this week, but he didn't need to be consistently across the whole week. It's all about tonight. And it's just a couple of games that he needs to win, and then it starts getting a bit nervy for those 3 players. All 3 players who came in here on 6 points would have came in here today thinking it was pretty much job done. It's a dangerous place to be. We've seen that get upset a few times before.
Well, we'll talk more about Group B in just a second, but let's break down the tournament bracket for you because you know half of our field for tomorrow night already. Barry Van Peer was the victor in Group A on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday respectively. And they're going to be joined by the 2 representatives of Group C, Robert Grundy and Robert Thornton, making their way through to the final. That was easy for me to say, I know. We're going to find out the final 3 identities courtesy of Group B tonight. But before we do that, let's just confirm what we did see in Group C this afternoon. This is how the table stacks up in the end. Robert Grundy, the victor of that. But let's get into the action tonight in Group B, because it's an interesting table. 3 players on 6 points at the front of that particular table. And it's a table, as you say, led by Chaz Barstow. But Adam Hunt, considering where he was on Wednesday, considering he was top of the pile for so long and then just missed out, to come back yesterday and pick up 6 points is some achievement.
Yeah, and that just shows the quality that Adam Hunt's got. I mean, he is one of the class acts of the Super Series for this season. He's the sort of player that I expect we're only going to get him for this season. He's a guy that I expect will go back and get his tour card again. So enjoy him while we've got him here is what I'll say for that. And I firmly expect him to get through tonight.
As far as Paul Hogan is concerned, we saw some really good stuff from him at the World Seniors match play. He got the better of Scott Mitchell in the opening round. Scott Mitchell, who is going to be in commentary tomorrow night here at the Super Series. And it's just practicing a little bit more at home in between work and all the rest of it, and we're seeing the results from that in the levels of performances in recent times.
I think he got to the point he had to, because he was starting to get to the point where people were starting to write him off. That was something you'd never do with Paul Hogan. When we look at those runs at the UK Open when he was beating players like Gary Anderson, and this is peak Gary Anderson, and he was always getting into that event. He was always a danger down at Lakeside, and he was known as that sort of player, one of those really dangerous customers where everyone's like, is he going to go full-time and go pro, and how far could he really go? I feel like that ship's kind of sailed a little bit. We'll never see how far he could have gone. But there's still plenty more in the locker, and especially when you look now at those seniors events. So it's good to see him putting that little bit extra effort in and getting those rewards.
Right, let's have a look at the outright betting then for tonight's action. Chaz Barstow goes off the 11-8 favourite. Adam Hunt, 13-8. Paul Hogan, 12-5. Considering all three players are on 6 points, is it a case of looking at maybe the value in Hunt and Hogan as opposed to Barstow, not derailing his ability, but because of the value?
I think the value there is whatever you think you've got value, because we've got three very evenly matched players there in terms of the league table. So we've got to look ahead rather than behind in that situation. But for me, I'd have to go with Adam Hunt.
As far as the bet builder's concerned, we're going to have a look at this now. This is an amalgamation of bets that have made it through the exchanges. You kind of got a bit of a mixed bag feel about this.
Absolutely. I think the second one there, Hogan and Barstow, total legs over 5.5. I think we're going to see a lot of close games tonight, especially when these top three are taking each other on. So at odds of 1 to 2, I'd say look even deeper into those and try and get some more of these over 5.5 legs. I don't like the 180s. I mean, we know Adam Hunt is a big 180 hitter, but he's got the sort of explosive talent that could see Stu Wilson off very quickly, the way Stu Wilson's been playing, which means there could be not many legs going in that game. I think getting two 180s in a game which might not go the distance, I think is a risky play. 18 plus, begambleaware.org if you're going to have a flutter on the Super Series tonight. Right, let's get into our first game, shall we? Because Crocodile Dundee's going to get his teeth stuck into proceedings here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. He takes on Adam Hunt, who is still hunting for that place at finals night tomorrow evening. And early on this evening, he caught up with me. For you so far this week, but last night things picked up quite dramatically for you.
Yeah, like, Group A was a tough group. This is a tough group. You've got to hit the ground running, otherwise you get left behind, I think.
How tough was it to kind of get over the disappointment of Wednesday? Or was it a case of just trying to get back on the horse as quickly as possible?
Slightly disappointing, but I knew I was playing well, so obviously you've got to just carry on and do the same again. Hopefully it works out the second time.
Has this week been the best starts we've seen from you here at the Super Series?
I would say so, yeah. A lot more consistent. Scoring's been there. My doubles have been a lot better, because I think that's what I struggled on more than anything down here in the past.
And if you were lucky to get through tonight, how big would it be for you to get through to a Saturday night here?
Yeah, well, I've been through to a couple of Saturdays. I really enjoy them. So yeah, I'd like to get back and have another crack at getting through to Champions Week.
We wish you well, Adam. Good luck.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Top man. So, some Friday night flighting for you here at the MODUS Super Series. 10 games to separate the final 3 spots through to tomorrow evening's final here on the sunny South Coast. And it is Crocodile Dundee who has made the pilgrimage to Portsmouth up against Adam Hunt, the man from Tyneside. And in the commentary box, it is away to Glenn Durrant and hello to Matt.
Yeah, thank you very much, Henry, and great analysis there, and very interested to hear the thoughts of my co-commentator Matthew Edgar. At the end of last night, these two met, and Adam Hunt put a blistering performance on, because the top 3 on 6 points, Adam Hunt we look at there, he just saved his best till last. It was a really important game with Thibaut Tricol just winning a game, and had Adam not beat Paul Hogan last night, the game with Thibaut today could have been very, very interesting. But Paul Hogan himself just had real flashes of brilliance last night. It was a superb performance, and all that hard work that he was putting in for the seniors bared fruit, and it was a quality night of darts, Matthew Edgar.
40. I think we're going to get another quality night of darts as well here, and it's set up nicely, and I don't think this is as done deal as we think. You look at the league table and you think Tricol and Wilson are pretty much out of this. I've seen worse than this turnaround. I remember being in a group. David Pallett was bottom of the table on 0. He ended up qualifying. Group B can turn around very, very quickly. But what I will say is, whoever wins this one, you've got to fancy that's job done for them.
Yeah, you've just taken the words out of my mouth there. And I think if Stu Wilson beats Thibaut Tricol in the game next, I think to make it interesting, the the loser of this game, and if Tebow wins the next one, the match between them two is the only thing I can see making this that the top three don't qualify. So
140.
very important start. Two good players, both banging form, and may the best person win.
You are going to experience this as well when you take part in this.
94.
That players' room gets very edgy very quick, and people overread the situation, and they want it secure and there. And while it's open, there's panic. And
93.
we can sit here and go, "Oh, you're 4 points clear. It's absolutely fine." But in there, they don't feel like it's job done, and you can feel the edginess as people try and work out that league table.
92.
Interesting. Adam's not someone who sort of panics a little bit. I don't know him as well as I know Paul Hogan, but I sort of chatted. I'm staying in the same accommodation as Adam, and the only problem with Adam is I don't think he always tells you exactly how he's feeling. He'll tell you everything's in control. Well, Hogan, what a break, a throw for tops. This is a superb start.
Game shot in the first leg.
Just
Paul Hogan.
finishing like where he left off yesterday. I must admit, I've been super impressed with Paul Hogan the past 4 weeks. I thought he was absolutely superb
Second
at the
against Paul
seniors.
to throw first.
I
Game on.
remember just sat in my hotel bed and just flicked on the game with him and Scott Mitchell, and I think about 6 legs had gone, and both were averaging, circa 105
100.
average. I quickly turned that off, that's for sure. And I just think he was unlucky against Leonard Gates, 9-7. That could have gone either way after he beat the legend that is Phil
60.
Taylor. And I just thought at times last night, Paul Hogan was brilliant, breathtaking at times.
The thing is, when you are like Paul Hogan
68.
and you're putting that extra work in that practice, one thing you get right is the timing. You get that release right. And when you've got that timing and that release right, you start getting confident in your
85.
throw, and you stop thinking about the throw, you stop thinking about how you're holding the dart, and you just start thinking about the target.
It's not a good feeling when you do that, because if you watch Adam Hunt's throw,
95.
I've been able to watch since Monday, the first dart takes a bit of an age from there, but the second and third are just super smooth. And for me, it's all about the first dart with Adam Hunt.
140.
There's a definite delay. It's if he's starting the process, and then it's like just a piece of string where it's really seamless after that. And at his best, he's thrown at a really quick, really quick
100.
pace. But just watch the more delay here, Matt. Whereas the next 2 darts are so fluent and fluid.
85.
Putting in a feeler, isn't it? Just so he
138.
sort of gets the range. You get this a lot with players that don't aim, but this one is going over to the 18s. Would have been the old Della shot.
98. I mean, 131.
Terrific start once again from Hogan. He came up the traps very, very nicely last night, and he's going to get a chance for 2-0.
91. We
He averaged
require 40.
99.54 in his first game last night, did Paul Hogan.
Game
Tell
shot
you
in the
what,
second
this
leg.
is the perfect
Paul
start for
Hogan.
Crocodile Dundee. And if Adam Hunt done a job on him last night, he's certainly on a revenge mission here, because this is a wonderful
Delegates
start.
Adam to throw first.
The thing is, when you start hitting a bit of form like this at this time of year,
43.
you start questioning your decisions, don't you? I'm sure Paul Hogan, if he keeps this up, is going to go, maybe, just maybe I should go to Q school.
100.
Maybe I'll get that tour card and have my couple of years on the tour.
Well, I can certainly answer for Adam Hunt, who's it's priority number 1. He
140.
is adamant he wants to be a professional player. He's adamant that the best times are ahead of him. I've been quoted this week saying this is the best Adam Hunt I've seen for 18 months. Like I said, he's difficult to read, Adam.
100.
He won't even tell you an awful lot, even when things weren't going so well in the PDC. But one thing he's never done, Matt, is lose his belief. And what he decided to do was take a step
93.
backwards to move forwards. And he went back to local league, local competitions. And we're seeing the results of how well he's playing. But right at this moment, it's all about this man.
59.
How many times do we see that people moving, well, what we would say a step backwards, but what it is doing is just finding that winning feeling again. We've spoke off camera quite a bit this week about
140.
walking into rooms and feeling like you're going to win a tournament compared to walking in and seeing how far you can get.
I never felt Paul was a big
41.
thinker.
And I'm require
Tough to read. I mean,
85.
when he plays, he heart on the sleeve, etc. So 20 for tops. Would be a holder throw.
Game shot on the
Good
third
start
leg.
to the night. The
Adam
quality in
Hunt.
Group B yesterday, I didn't think was going to be surpassed tonight. It was that good. But this is a cracking start.
Fourth leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, to make it really interesting, Matt, if Tebow can get past Stu Wilson the next game, I tell you what, he's only then 2 points behind one of these two players.
140.
There is so many ifs and buts coming up.
134.
Barstow would play Paul Hogan, so if Paul Hogan beats Adam Hunt and Barstow, Tricol could be level on points very quickly.
Oh, Barstow was excellent last night. I think he was the one that impressed me most. But they all had
100.
real flashes of brilliance. You know, Barstow was looking head and shoulders as we look at a close throw of Adam Hunt, that first one. And look at the speed of dart 2 and 3. Really
80.
interesting. I don't think I've ever spotted that with Adam before, whether he's working on it, whether it's just natural. But I daren't tell him he's certainly not interested in listening to my theories of throws, etc. He just wants to learn on the job himself and doesn't want to become an overthinker. A little bit of body movement there. I'd like to see him standing virtually walking on the last dart, but it did go in the treble 19. I am someone who does like very little body language. I want the mechanics of the arm to do the work. Well, Paul Hogan continues to impress.
125.
Double 18 for a 13 darter for
36.
Paul Hogan, who has dominated this leg on the throw. If you ever want to have a look at how to hold your throw, I'll say watch this leg. He's got to finish it off first. That wasn't the intended split. That was a slipped dart into the 14, I can tell you that. But great composure to have a big adjustment across the board and find the double 2.
Isn't it typical that happens though? So, but he's a wily old character. Just had a look at Adam's score there. He didn't particularly want to go up with the double 9, but shows the character of the man when you hit that double 2 with the last dart, and that hurt Adam Hunt. It might have been a wry smile there from Adam, but Paul Hogan is doing a real job here on Adam Hunt, who's playing very, very nicely himself. Averages are outstanding.
It's one of those things as a player when you stand behind your opponent and they do something silly, you always think, oh, here we go. Like when they miss the big number and then they never get one dart at the double. It always seems to go in.
This feels like a better average than 91 for Paul Hogan, doesn't it? I was expecting to see late 90s. It's been a terrific professional performance. Very clean, very concise.
55. $125. 121.
It's just that quality that Adam Hunt possesses. Played in a few World Championships, Grand Slam of darts.
95. Enemy require 85.
Nerve-wracking was playing Lisa Ashton at Ali Pali, but he did a fantastic job. Again, looking for that double 14 there, but he's going to have to go for the bull.
37.
Chance for Hogan for the match.
138.
Again, leaves the 138. It's not a commonly finish, but this is what he did last time. Just composing himself. Looking for the treble 18. Can't find it. Frustrated.
79.
Dodgy.
Enemy
Yeah, got away with that last
48.
one. Just a little lack of concentration after the second dart. Adam Hunt's going to get 2 darts at a double, and his chosen double is double 16. Look at the determination in his face.
Game shot on the 5th leg.
There's the fist bump. You don't often see that with Adam Hunt. He's quite an understated, doesn't give an awful lot away. He knows the importance of the next leg, and the next 3 darts are the most important 3 of this match so far. $135.
That is a perfect dart for Adam Hunt. He just likes that little bit of lift and on the top wire.
100.
You can see the wincing on the face, disappointment. You'd have been expecting a bit more there than the 100. And you might need more because Paul Hogan, once again, is giving us a masterclass on how to
180.
defend your darts.
He's been excellent for a day and a half already. And like I said, it means an awful lot. You can see him sucking in the air behind.
140.
I have to say, I've been mightily impressed with this group. You feel the winner tomorrow night is going to come from this group. Would very much be this man. 66 left, so chance of treble, 10 or bullseye.
130.
This could be one of those legs for Adam Hunt where he does nothing wrong. Is it 100, a 140, a maximum, and he might not get a chance?
56.
Two darts at double 18, just takes his time. He doesn't want to go down that double 9 route. Eggs in one basket.
Game, shot,
Absolutely.
and
Paul
the
Hogan,
match.
Adam Hunt.
Paul
Well done to both of
Hogan.
you. That was a terrific game. And Paul Hogan is playing some of the best darts I've seen for many a year. For Adam Hunt, no panic yet. Looks like he's still in good nick. And look at those numbers. That was terrific. Paul Hogan has put himself in a wonderful position for qualification. And next up, Thibaut Tricol against Stu Wilson.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, and what a start we've just had to our nightly action here at the Live Lounge. Paul Hogan getting the better of Adam Hunt 4-2, doing so over 98 average, 4 out of 5 on the doubles, and finishing with an 11 dart leg. That means that Crocodile Dundee moves on to 8 points in the group. Next up for us, it is Thibaut Tricol in action. Now, he picked up 1 victory last night. Up against Stu Wilson, look at it. His first points on the board. Wilson, who is looking to win the ADC belt tomorrow afternoon. Tricol looking to become the first Frenchman to win here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. In the comms box, Matt and Glenn.
Yeah, thank you, Henry. I'm just doing my own calculations, Ian. If Thibaut Tricol can get the better of Stu Wilson, game 4 looks very interesting because Thibaut Tricol would play Adam Hunt with only 2 points behind Thibaut, with a couple of wins over Stu Wilson and Adam Hunt. We'll join him on 6 points. Stu Wilson, tough day yesterday. I go right back to the very first leg where he outscored Adam Hunt, but a big finish from Adam really set him back. But Thibaut Tricol nowhere near his brilliant best yesterday.
Stu to throw first.
And my co-commentator
Game
Matthew
on.
Edgar feels if anyone can go through the card tonight and create an upset, it is somebody like Thibaut Tricol, because when you look at the characteristics of Thibaut Tricol, he's a real fighter, very tenacious, but didn't demonstrate. The problem is Stu Wilson's a very,
100.
very accomplished player himself. Didn't expect it to be on 0 points overnight. And I think he'll want to go into his Northwest title match against Carl Snead
85.
tomorrow with some wins under his belt, and be interesting to see how he reacts. He could play that real spoiler role tonight, Matt.
We've spoke a little bit, certainly with Martin Turner earlier on this
100.
afternoon, about expectation. And for me, that's been the problem for Stu Wilson. I feel he was making good progress, and then he won a challenge tour.
60.
And I think that was the moment maybe he felt like he'd arrived. And from that moment, it was like he had to live up to being a challenge tour winner. And ever since winning that at the start of last year,
60.
challenge tour number 4 in Milton Keynes, I think he's stopped that upwards curve, that upwards progression.
Yeah, it was on Twitter yesterday. That is a lucky
100.
likey for a top PDC player. Who do you think it was? I can't see the resemblance. Stu, of course.
Not much is coming to me.
100.
Yeah, I could. Christoph Ratajski.
No, I don't quite see that one.
140. Stu, you've got 141.
Like I said, I've got a feeling Adam Hunt will be cheering on Stu Wilson in this game. Because he's lurking, isn't he? Thibaut right behind Adam Hunt. It does make that game 4 very
89.
interesting.
Do we require
I thought the losing that opener
116?
we'll have for the first time something to think about, whereas Paul Hogan, I think he can just sit back and one more win for himself will guarantee it.
76. Stu, you require 52.
2 data for Wilson.
No score. Do we
Sloppy.
require
Just
40?
didn't fancy it. It didn't exude enough confidence for me and belief, and that's when you start going on a losing
Game
streak. It
on
is
the
tough.
first leg.
Thibaut
Thibaut
Tricol doesn't
Tricol.
play poorly for 2 days running. And something you've said on the balcony earlier, that he is the type of player that could go through the card. This
Second
is
against
definitely
Thibaut
because
to
the
throw
in-play
first.
table now,
Game
as I look just to one of my screens, they sat now only 2 points behind Barstow and Hunt. And this could get interesting when it was looking like a formality tonight.
85.
This is what I was saying. It's a dangerous position when you come in at the start of the day because you think it's pretty much job done. I remember when I played in this group myself, I was in a very similar situation, and it got to a game like we're going to see
100.
next with Tricol against Hunt. If Tricol wins this one, that game we had him Hunt, he could literally close the gap to just legs.
125.
Yeah, Adam's got a big lead on the legs difference, but just the fact we're talking about it now, because there was the fear. If Wilson did win this game, are we all but done and dusted tonight?
140.
There's our referee, Owen Binks.
$60.
We have a couple of fantastic referees today. It was Charlie Costafine earlier and Owen Binks. And I tell you what, between the whole series, you can count their mistakes on one hand. One finger even.
41.
Would you be a good ref, do you think, Matt?
Not at all. No.
Suppose you need a brain, don't you, for that, so would be difficult, but
He's got a cracking pair of shoes on tonight, though, hasn't he, as well, Owen Binks?
121.
I mean, they know Jerry Hendricks, but hey, come on.
$100. To be recorded 160.
He stood slightly in the
58.
exclusion zone, but he's
require
actually stood at the back of the
120.
stage.
You feel this has to go for Wilson. Just the one leg he won his opening 2 games yesterday. Well, he's going to give himself a chance. He had a couple of darts in the previous leg.
80.
And I tell
To
you
be
what, when you're
required,
bottom of the league,
52.
when you're top of the league, they're going. When you're bottom, you hit that wire, what he just did. Tebow just looks a little bit more assured tonight. 2 darts at tops.
Game shot
Tell
the
you what,
second
Matthew
leg.
Edgar, this
Tebow
is getting just
treble.
a little bit interesting because Tebow was absolutely not himself last night. He was beating himself up. He was throwing his arms about.
Look at
Just a
Stu
little
to
bit
throw
of petulance,
first.
something you don't
Game
really
on.
expect from the Frenchman. He means business tonight.
One thing I will expect, and I'm going to call this now, the closer he gets to it, the more animated he's going to become. He's quite entertaining to
100.
watch because you don't have to guess how he's feeling. We don't have to go, I think he's feeling. It'll show us. He will get very emotionally involved in this
100.
the closer he gets to closing in on those top 3 positions.
Let me just mention again leg difference because it's a big difference between him and second and third place right now. So
41.
4-0 victory here for Tebow. And all of a sudden, getting very interesting. Just keep your eye on that game 4. That could be a cracker.
60.
Yeah, take a flick of the dart, isn't it? Just virtually holding the bottom of the dart stroke point. Seems to be aiming that dart. It's for
135.
Owen Binks there. If you have a little close look of when he's thrown it there, that's a lot more traditional and ferocious power he throws, Tebow.
85.
Just watch this dart. He's actually aiming for our referee. Seems to work though.
140. $140. So you require 85.
Great follow there from Tebow. Just keeps the pressure on Stu Wilson, who looks like he's just living every single dart right now.
This has been his weakness so far.
60.
He hit
Did
the
we record
wire on tops in the second leg,
160?
and it's the wire of the bullseye. Why does that happen when you're bottom of the table, Matthew Edgar?
Sure, you'll be able to tell us in a couple of weeks.
100. Stu required 25.
Just when I was being nice as well. Don't miss the big number, Stu, first of all. Don't even think of the double. Job done. 2 darts at double A to get your campaign today up and running.
He has had a dart at this target and he slipped it low into the 16s.
Game shot on the third
Not
leg.
this time. Much
Stu
better
Wilson.
dart there from Stu Wilson. I was a little bit unsure if that first dart was a bit of a blocker, but it ended up being a bit of a friend.
Fourth leg, it's Tebow to throw first.
Yeah, one of the best Group Bs I've seen for a long time. The quality, like I said yesterday, and tonight it started terrifically well. And now Stu
140.
Wilson's coming into the mix as well. He could have a big part to play. Probably qualification's gone if he doesn't win this game against Tebow, but he can still play a major role in who finishes in the top 3. Are we getting close
62.
to 3 from 4?
Well, he could end up being a bit of a tag team partner for Tebow Tricol,
40.
because Tebow will be hoping every time Stu Wilson goes in that he beats everybody else, because it just keeps his hopes more and more alive.
40.
One of those weird situations, isn't it? He came in here today thinking, I hope Stu Wilson plays bad in the first game and then finds his best.
Do you know what,
85.
It's a lot quieter in the players' area tonight, isn't it? Of course, Robert Thornton's not in there.
He does have a voice that travels, doesn't he, Robert Thornton? Travels 500 miles, I heard.
125.
Don't laugh at your own jokes, it's pathetic.
135. 22. Do we require 101?
It's for 3-1. Tops again. Just look
61.
like a new man tonight. Those guys in the first three was the last thing they wanted to see Tebow back to his best.
140.
Well, the time he thought he had might have just
Do we
been
require
reduced.
40?
Still got 3 darts in hand. Loves this area of the board.
Game shown the 4 flag.
And that puts
Tebow
himself
Treacle.
just a leg away now from getting the first 2 points that he's going to need tonight. He's probably going to need them all.
Stu to throw first.
This
Game
could be
on.
the perfect start for Tricol.
Well, to be fair, you called it earlier. If anyone can go through the card tonight, he is the type of player to do that. Like I say, Stu Wilson will be thinking it's all
60.
but done and dusted now, but integrity, professionalism towards the other players, he'll be giving everything in his games, but just seems to have been a dart too much for him, hasn't it, so far? His finishing, I've
60.
never really looked confident. Like I said yesterday, it was that first game he had with Adam Hunt sucked the energy out of him.
60. 55.
Chance for Wilson here.
60.
Look at the speed Tricol goes to the Oki. Is it just a little too quick right now? Is he wanting to get in?
45.
Sometimes you've got to wait for that winning line to come to you rather than you dipping too early. I just feel like he wants to get this game out of the way.
Honestly, I think he's only going to get quicker as the night goes on. As the moments become more and more important, he's going to race
180.
to that Oki faster and faster.
$95. So you require
At
141.
least 6 starts to Wilson to reduce the deficit. And look at treble 19.
109.
That's what you call a setup.
$46. So you require 32. Game shot on the 5th leg. Stu Wilson.
Well, we've waxed lyrical a lot about Tebow Tricol today. Stu Wilson's right behind him.
6th leg, it's
I think
Tebow
it's
to
three
throw
darts
first.
for Tebow. This game is right now because can he serve for the match? And that's the perfect start.
140.
Talk about him rushing to the Oki. There's a 10-second delay between legs. He stood at the Oki for the whole 10 seconds, just waiting to throw. He just wants to get on with this. He's itching. Which can be a good sign.
140.
Looking forward. The fact that he just wants to get on with a night. Feeling confident. Feeling aggressive.
Panic could set in though because Wilson's right behind now.
55.
For the first time in this match, Stu Wilson is only a couple of trebles away. And I tell you what, the tide is turning here.
140.
He's been patient, Stu Wilson. It hasn't gone for him so far. He's about 80 ahead. This is the class of this man. He could look for the bullseye here. The 25 and bull would leave a finish.
164.
Big moments require big darts from big players.
I also like the bullseye in this dart.
140.
Not even a consideration.
So we
Ton
have
40, ton of 40,
142.
ton of 40. Welcome to the party, Stu Wilson. We'll go back to treble 17.
84. So do you require 81?
This is one of those sort of shots where if it misses, Tricol feels relief. It goes in. He's going to feel that maybe tonight's not going to be his night. Best leg of the match so far.
And Wilson would go favourite if this goes in because he would have the dart in the last leg. These are nervy darted doubles. That's the only problem for Stu. And the fact he's just delaying and taking this like a stop-start effort. This is a big dart for Stu Wilson.
No score.
And he's bust it. He goes all the way back to 81. Tricol should be getting 2 darts here for the match. And I dare say we're going to see a sigh of relief here if Tricol wraps this up 4-2.
Mission accomplished in the end to Thibaut Tricol. He knew the importance of the 2
Tricol.
points in that game, but Stu Wilson was right behind and he could still play a major role in this Group B. Just a little bit stop-start on the finishing for Stu Wilson. That was the difference between the pair of them, but it was a tight affair. Thibaut Tricol was excellent on his doubles, and that was a real steady 58 at the end, and he is now right in the mix. Another blockbuster game's up next. It's Paul Hogan against Chaz Barstow.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. So before the break, Thibaut Tricol has kept his hopes of qualification alive. A 4-2 victory against Stu Wilson. As far as Stu is concerned, well, it's a week that's going from bad to worse. He's lost each of his opening 5 matches now here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Now, we're going to see Chaz Barstow for the first time this evening up next. He takes on Paul Hogan already in the winners' enclosure tonight. He got the better of Adam Hunt by 4 legs to 2 in his opening game. For Barstow, he was top of the table going into tonight's action, and earlier on this evening I caught up with him. Chaz, night 2 for yourself. The first night almost as good as perfect.
Yeah, started good, didn't finish as strong, but felt I played some solid darts there, so yeah, really happy with that.
Outside of it, how has the Chaz Barstow game been recently?
It's coming back. I'm starting to play well. Yeah, I'm scoring really well, and the finishing's coming back, so it's going okay.
We've seen some fantastic stuff from you in Southampton, but how much would you like to correlate what we saw maybe like 2021, early 2022 into this competition here in Portsmouth?
Yeah, not quite done it here, have I? But yeah, just need a little bit of confidence in that one win, I think, and I'll be flying.
Do you think it's all about that springboard? You're kind of a confidence player like that.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a different venue. It's a different, it's just it's a different outlook. So hopefully, if I do my game, I'll be fine. Yeah.
And I suppose how much you'd like to get through tonight, because we know what it's like when you get through to a final here. You do bring a very vocal support down.
Yeah, I've got a few people ready to come down. Obviously, I'm not quite there yet, but hopefully I can finish the job and have a bit of support here tomorrow.
Well, Chaz, we wish you well. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
And once again, a fantastic insight to the players. A lovely person, this Chaz Barstow, speaks very, very well. And I thought at the beginning of last night he was back to his best. I sat in the commentary box last time I was here, and he was openly admitted he was moving home, doing work to the house, and that seemed to be second best for him. But he's up against this man who definitely won't be going to Q School. I've had a nice message of his wife, Angela, and she said, tell Matthew Edgar to shut up. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So keep sending me them messages, Angela, because that makes my day. Against Chaz Barstow, I think.
First leg, it's Paul to throw first.
I mean, when I
Game
was,
on.
especially around about 2020, the games that were played behind closed doors, the Players' Championships, I thought Chaz Barstow was really going to kick on a massive scorer. He had some crazy,
100.
crazy averages. If yesterday's to go by, he seems to be coming back, Matt.
We was both on the tour at the time when Chaz Barstow was
21.
pretty much dominating it during those COVID days, and you would never have imagined how the next couple of years would have gone. I remember him rivaling Michael van
85.
Gerwen on the Alexandra Palace stage.
Yeah, I know sometimes you reach that peak, don't you? Reach that one match, and he said nothing will ever surpass that, to play on that unbelievable stage
134.
against, one of the greatest of all times. And, what the greats are able to do then is then look for the next target. And part of me thinks that Chaz reached that high. And
95.
sometimes when you're at that crossroads and some decision making that you're doing, personal reasons get in the way. Like I say, family and whatever. We don't know the full circumstances, but what I do know, he's a terrific
76.
player. Really, really big fan of Chaz Barstow.
Sometimes when you set the goal and you achieve it, it's hard to reset it again. You had a moment, didn't you, when you won the Premier League, and he says, like, that's it, I've made it, done it.
170.
And that pretty much was the point I was trying to make without being all about me. That would have been special, a 170. Still 144, the
80.
highest of the week.
We were going
It's
138.
unusual for it not to all be about you, isn't it, Glenn?
Yeah, I got a message when I was at the Euro Tour last week. Does Glenn Durant ever go 2 minutes without talking about himself? So, big 18, Paul.
96.
Let's start with 1 minute
Judge
first, shall we,
required
before we go
90.
to 2. But I think there's a miscount there from Paul Hogan. Might not matter. Barstow. Bullseye for a break of throw.
65. We
And then
require
sort of shots when he
42.
was at that best a few years ago. He just expected those to go.
Yeah, I thought I'd miscounted that. But Paul Hogan went for the big 16 and said the big 18, so it's 2 darts at a double rather than 1. But the way he's playing, only he will know how
24.
affected he was at that
Required
finish there. He should
25.
have been going for tops. Chance for Barstow.
Game shot in the first leg. Chaz
Well, it's your
Barstow.
day, Chaz. It's your day. And I've got a player who I reckon I've played over 50 times. Dave Prinz.
Second
I
against
seem to
Chaz
play
to
him
throw
in most
first.
competitions, and I
Game
heard these
on.
two chatting at the local competitions. They must have played each other about 50 times.
Well, that's that 2 minutes
45.
clock restarting again. See if we can pass 2 minutes without Glenn talking about himself. But Paul Hogan there was giving himself a right beating at the back of the stage, wasn't he? The whole
100.
break period from the second he missed that opportunity.
Did you used to beat yourself up?
96.
It doesn't matter what you think if you smell what the does is cooking.
140.
Good reaction this though from Paul Hogan. He was giving himself a
85.
beating, and the thing is, whenever you beat yourself up, you tend to win.
Is this as good as you've seen Paul play for a few years?
By far.
And last night he was
60.
terrific. Seniors, he was fantastic.
$81.
With Angela watching as well. That famous line. Super darts hoagie.
$130.
Well, Barstow's going to now
100.
rely on
We
mistakes
require
from Paul
71.
Hogan. But we've just seen mistakes from Paul Hogan. Will we see more?
Game shot in the second leg.
Back
Paul
to
Hogan.
normal straight away there for Paul Hogan, and that's what great players are able to do. I was going to say they're able to
Delegates
forget about
Paul to
what's
throw
happened, but
first.
clearly
Game
from
on.
that reaction, he's still not forgot about it because he's still beating himself.
Yeah, he's one of those players, a chitter-chatter as I call, but 5 from 8 on the outer ring tonight. He's looking really, really good.
100. $40.
Paul Hogan win here would make things very interesting for Thibaut Tricol.
Exactly, reading my mind there. I was just looking at the permutations as well. Thibaut can get to 10 points if he goes through the card. And Paul Hogan could be just
60.
laying that foundation for a really fight between the players in second, third and fourth.
100.
And I feel we saw enough from Stu Wilson in that opening game to suggest he's going to upset someone tonight.
59. But we require
But he's
161.
looking like more of the same here from Paul Hogan. Another average well over the 90.
60.
Chaz is starting
82.
to struggle a little bit here.
101.
And actually, I thought his averages were better yesterday, Chaz. 92 being his highest. And really, you've got to say the informed man is this man. Just takes a little breather for double 18. And I think
65.
part of him there is don't go inside, he was thinking, because a couple of times at double 18. And I think that was quite a safe dart.
81. But we require 36.
Tried to avoid
20.
that double 9 earlier on, but was forced into going for it. Came very low into the 14s. Did polish it up in the end, and you tend to find that if people like a double, they tend to like the breakdown of it. And he
45.
leaves that double
We
18,
require
but he doesn't
16.
like the switch.
Yeah, there's not many people like double 9. I think he's looked so solid. Just first moments here for Paul Hogan. A little shake of the head.
No score.
Close, but no
Chaz
cigar.
require 134.
This would be a steal. It's not going to be. Not going to get an opportunity here, so more
58.
opportunities for Paul
We
Hogan
require 16.
to get that holder throw and take the lead.
Game shot in the third leg. Paul Hogan.
Not only is Paul Hogan, I was going to say Paul Hogan happy about it, he doesn't look happy about it, he should be happy about it. I would like to
Well,
stick a
it's
camera on
chance to throw
Thibaut
first.
Tricol right now, because I
Game
reckon he'd
on.
look more happy than Paul Hogan does.
Who was the most animated you've seen up there over the years? Thornton has to be up there. Gary Anderson?
60.
Or does he just get on with it, Gary, do you think? Who's the ones who throws the arms about?
Richie Burnett.
I was more thinking animated as in
81.
beating themselves up like Paul is doing there. No matter if it's a 180, you feel Paul's going to shake his head.
Oh, Robert Thornton's the world champion of beating themselves up.
99.
Or Aaron Monk, who has physically beat himself up. I've seen him punch himself in the face.
Yeah, we've been here next door to him
85.
when the darts have clattered into the table, and I fell for the wall at one point.
100.
Yeah, when you look at longevity in darts, you know, people's throw, and that's the same Paul Hogan throw for many years.
145.
The fact he's practicing a little bit now is probably the reason for the upturn in form. He's just a super consistent player, Hoagie, isn't he?
Maybe he needs to learn
59.
the counting a little bit there, because that switch has left him a no finish. Two counting errors so far in this match.
138.
Paul de Souza.
Well,
57.
all the
We
positives
require
about
52.
Chaz Barson, what you could say about Adam Hunt is he lost his game against this man, but played very nicely. His Thibaut Tricol actually targeted more Chaz Barstow.
Game shot in the
It's
fourth
3-1
leg.
here, and Hoagie's
Paul
looking
Hogan.
super good for qualification right now. However, the obligatory shake of the head, little punch to the head.
Fifth leg, it's Paul to throw
You're
first.
3-1 up, man.
Game on.
This would put him as the first player through.
Potential winner tomorrow night,
60.
Hoagie, with a crowd, and I guess he's fairly local round here, isn't he?
I've seen Paul a few times on the Saturday. And
96.
he's kind of got Robert Thornton disease, where they don't bring their best through to the Saturday. However, I don't think I've seen him playing this comfortable within himself going into a Saturday.
99.
It's the best I've seen him play for a while. It was a super duper Group B, and he's looking good to. I mean, if he does win
41.
this, I mean, look at the difference there. How tight it was early doors. He's the guy that's come out the traps tonight firing.
55.
Chaz is just
46.
getting weaker and weaker as this game goes on. And by weaker, I mean he's losing the line. A lot of wayward darts into the 1s and 7s.
100.
He's starting to feel a little bit stretched, a little bit desperate, a little bit panicked. Maybe he's looking over his shoulder,
83.
worried about the potential charge of Thibaut Tricol.
Yeah, there was nothing to separate them last night. It was a 4-3 win for this man. Nothing in the averages, but to be fair, this has been dominant from Paul Hogan.
140.
He's a couple of darts away from topping the group by 4 points, and with other players
65.
struggling behind.
We require 47.
2 darts away for Paul Hogan. And that's a
Game
very
shot and the
solid
match,
professional
Paul
performance
Hogan.
from Paul Hogan. He looks sensational this week. A real potential winner. You wouldn't think so as he puts his arms up there, but I think Paul Hogan is looking as good as ever. That is not Chaz Barstow. That is not what I was expecting from him. He's got work to do because Thibaut Tricol is lurking behind him. For Hogan, job done. Huge game coming up next. Stay with us for that one. Thibaut Tricol against Adam Hunt.
Super Series, where 2 victories to kickstart his night for Paul Hogan puts him on what is quite a magical figure in Group B, 10 points. Right, these are the results from the game so far. 2 wins for Hogan. Sandwiched in the middle of that was a victory for Thibaut Tricol against Stu Wilson by 4 legs to 2. Right, next up for us, what could be now a pivotal game because of the start that Tricol has made, because he takes on Adam Hunt. If Tricol wins this one, he moves on to 6 points, and it'll make things very interesting indeed. Watching this one in the commentary box, it's Glenn and Matt.
Yes, I think Adam's finding it as funny as we are, the way he's in Tricol. Well, Henry has been practicing that. His French gets an A star there, Henry. I think I'll do the northeast accent of Tricol. But Adam Hunt, he might be smiling there, but I tell you what, it's game on for him right now, because the biggest fear was losing to Paul Hogan in the first game, and for Thibaut to win, that's exactly what the scenario is. The only thing I would say for Adam Hunt is that Chaz Barstow did not look at the races at all, and maybe he's the one that is just looking over his shoulder for Thibaut Tricol. But Adam Hunt has got it in his own hands.
First leg, it's Thibaut
This one,
to
how do
throw
you see this one
first.
go, Matt?
Game on.
I see this as Thibaut Tricol being one of those flies that's buzzing around your head that you're just trying to swat away. And Adam Hunt is going to try and be the
100.
swatter. This is the game where I think we're going to see the focus from Thibaut Tricol. We're going to see the best of Thibaut Tricol. And if he is to get over the line and get this victory, I think we're going to see a reaction. The sort of player that really wears his heart on his sleeve in the big matches. For him, his week is sort of hinging on this match.
85.
Yeah, and for Adam Hunt, they've played each other 4 times this week. And Adam Hunt does lead 3-1 in the head-to-head. You just feel the ascendancy and the
60.
momentum is with the Frenchman right now, because this is a slow start from Hunt here.
60.
It's a slow start, but it's
59.
not going to
So we
be
were
too
160.
effective because it's the Tricol throw, and sometimes when you start slow and it is your throw and you lose that advantage very quickly.
Yeah, they've become good friends this week,
56.
these two. They even shared a lunch, I believe. I'll tell you what, it's business up there right now, and the Frenchman's doing him no favours. This is a much better return. He'll stay there.
133.
The single will leave a two-darter.
60.
And these are the types of finishes that Thibaut didn't look comfortable last night, but we know on most days
Game shot in the first
it's meat
leg.
and drink. 1-0
Thibaut
to the
Tricol.
Frenchman. He really has got the va-va-voom right now.
Second against Adam to throw first.
Absolutely perfect. And the in-play table is very interesting, because the in-play table takes into consideration the fact that Thibaut's leading this game. And we now have 3 players on 6
121.
points.
$140.
Nervy Tarzo Hunt, Matt. He had a terrific campaign, 5 out of 5 on the opening day, looking really good to do some serious damage in Group A. He won 2 games the next day, albeit he played well, and he had some really good opportunities on the final day. He just seemed to tighten. He just seemed to falter. And I'm hoping that's not a recurrence of what the situation now, because I think a win here over Thibaut, and it looks after itself from there. Looking good for 1-1 though.
$100. Adam, you reckon 106.
Plenty of work still to be done though. From 106. So this just becomes a setup shot now. 68 left.
Yeah,
54.
16. Treble 12 is a good shot.
61.
The treble 20 was covered. That's where he wanted to go. But he's left a 2-darter. This is a big ask. Would be the finish of the week.
97. Adam, you reckon 52. 42.
Interesting.
Timmy requires 64.
Where Tebow is playing. Adam Hunt will be nervous with this start. Resets, refocus. Eyes on that double 16.
32.
We
Adam
spoke earlier
requires
about the
10.
importance of legs. That could have been a massive shot there to double his lead. Still might get another opportunity. One more dart in hand for Adam
5.
Hunt. He's came
Timmy
low.
requires 32.
5 darts, the chance here for Hunt. And Tricol looking to double his lead. Looking to break the throw.
24.
To meet here
Adam
at the moment.
requires 5.
These are opportunities for both. You can just sense the tension tonight. The quality in this group last night was unbelievable. But add in the mix, the tension. Because this is a tough
No
watch
score.
for Adam Hunt right now.
Timmy requires 8.
0 from 7 on the outer ring. And Tebow's only 1 from 5. This has to go for the Frenchman.
Drama.
6.
Opportunity.
Timmy requires 5.
Who can hold it together?
No score.
It's not just the doubles he's
Tebow
missing now, the
requires
singles
2.
as well. But this, in this situation, is a horrible place to be. And that's why he's just taking an extra second here.
Game shot in the second leg. Tebow Tricol.
It's all a little bit messy in the end. As shown in that statistic there. Not one that Adam Hunt will want to
Against
see
Tebow
because
to throw first.
on day one, his
Game on.
doubles were absolutely sensational. He was over the moon with the way he was finishing. But when he needs it most, he played a game against Robert Thornton where it was just
95.
missed start or a double. For me, that was the match that actually cost him top in the group in Group A. He literally left the venue within 20 seconds of
123.
Robert Thornton hitting the winning double after.
I like what I saw there, though, from Tricol, who's becoming more stage
60.
experienced and savvy. The more it goes, he hit that double, he walked straight down the oki with his head down and just stood ready to throw again.
180.
dominance.
No tension in that throw, Adam Hunt.
140.
So much darts going on this week. The World Series of Darts in Amsterdam. The big WDF competition in Bridlington.
138.
And the Women's Series tomorrow as well. Will Bowgreaves continue our unbelievable run?
85.
Can
Adam
Adam
requires
Hunt
60.
get up and running here? First part of the job done.
Game
And a
shot
lot
in the
more
third
relaxation in
leg.
that throw.
Adam
Sometimes you need a
Hunt.
punch on the nose, as a boxer would say. And that last leg he won't want to look back on.
Fourth leg, it's Adam
You
to
must
throw
never
first.
look in your rear
Game
windows. Always look forward, and that's something that Adam Hunt does very well because it's actually now back on throw.
on.
walking up.
180. $95.
Another.
140.
Had to ruin it.
He was teased to the 9 darter earlier on as well.
140.
Sort of feel that with the players we've got this week, maybe there's one bubbling for tomorrow night.
82.
Only the great hit 9 darters on that stage.
58. Adam require 99.
And he put a flake in it. I tell you what, this is a little bit dangerous here. You don't want to kiss into that. That's a
59.
beautiful last dart there from Adam Hunt. And after 12 darts, he leaves tops. He's back in this match.
58. Adam require 40. Game shot on the
Despite
fourth
the
leg.
fact he lost
Adam
that
Hunt.
exchange, he's the one who's recovered the better from that hatful of missed darts that both the players had. Tricol just
Fifth leg, it's
continuing
Tebow
the
to throw
lag. He's
first.
not took the gift.
Yeah, we get the best seats in the house here. And you can just see he was tight in them first 2 legs.
43.
Part of you says just throw the dart, and all of a sudden he's playing with a lot more freedom as he's going for doubles now. Did have a chance there to be
44.
really disappointed with that return there, because the score of 43 from Thibault wasn't punished by Hunt.
47.
Tricol had this in his hands. He
140.
really slipping away. He's getting caught up a little bit too much in that pace that we said about. I said he's going to get quicker as the night goes on
99.
and the moments become more vital. But everything about him is just getting faster and faster. At some point, we might need to go up there with a
59.
treadmill for him, just so he can run on in between shots.
And I think that pace suits Adam Hunt rather than Thibault personally.
45. $100.
Something special when it's a ton with the last dart compared to the first. Thibault was a little shake of his head when he was thrown, when Adam was throwing them last three. I think he feels he's
100.
beginning to throw this away.
158.
Real chance for Adam Hunt here, 158. He'll think he's got 6 darts. He might only need 3.
134.
This
You
is
mean
becoming desperate times for
167.
Tricol. He needs a spark.
$99. Adam, you require
Nearly
24.
lit the blue touch paper there.
Game shot on the 5th leg. Adam Hunt.
Well, he's turned it around. He was 2-0 down. He missed so many darts at doubles. He was missing the big singles to set up on the
It's Adam
5.
to
It
throw
looked
first.
like it was going to be an edgy game for Adam Hunt when he went 2-0 down. Instead, he's dug deep. He's brought his average up to 90.
139.
There's been a real fluctuation in the averages. Adam was up to 99 despite losing, but all those missed darts at a double. To be averaging over 90, Matt,
60.
after that horrible leg of dart in leg 2, shows that the scoring prowess is there. And look at him going out.
140.
Zero tension in his throat. It's Thibault's now up against it.
100.
These are pivotal moments right now.
Defeat here would not mean the end of the road, though, for Tricol, because he could still catch with
81.
Chaz Barstow, who's coming up in our next game. I won't be surprised to see a little upset in that one. Plenty to play for, and Tricol could still have plenty to play for in this one.
141.
But it's in the hands of Adam Hunt. 6 darts and 141. And Shuley now. He's racing to the line.
109.
That is a setup and a half. Adam Hunt become a big favourite now.
$94. Adam, you
So,
require
for the
32.
match, Adam
Game
Hunt
shot
from
and the
2-0
match.
down, then rolled
Adam
off 4
Hunt.
legs in the end. He'll be a relieved man to get over the line against Thibault Tricol, because he was just beginning to show signs that the real fight back was on for Adam Hunt. Despite that horrible second leg where it was missed dart after missed dart, to average just shy of 93. That's an excellent performance from the man from County Durham. Big game coming up next for Chaz Barstow. He plays Stu Wilson.
Well, welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where before the break, Adam Hunt stopped the charge of Thibaut Tricol, a 4-2 victory of the man for the man from the northeast, just derailing the Frenchman's hopes. So that keeps him on 4. It puts Hunt on 8, and in the middle that sandwich is Barstow on 6. He's taken on Stu Wilson, looking to get his first win of the group. And watching this one in the commentary box is Glenn and Matt.
Thank you, Henry. Yeah, Chaz Barstow didn't play very well at all in his first game, so I didn't have any concerns at the beginning of the night for Chaz. I thought he was superb yesterday. But a very poor performance, uncharacteristic of him, means this game against Stu Wilson just has that added importance now. However, he will be a more relieved man than he could have been because Thibaut Tricol was leading Adam
First leg,
Hunt.
it's Chaz to throw
There was a
first.
stage there
Game
on the
on.
in-play table where 3 players were sat on 6 points, so it's still in the hands of this man. And victory here over Stu would give him a 4-point buffer over the Frenchman.
96.
You actually fancy a potential banana skin here, don't you?
Yeah, there was a bit of a market move here. Stu Wilson was 6-4 at the start of the day.
136.
But 1-2 on Barstow. He's gone out to 4-11 Barstow, 2-1 Wilson. I think that represents great
81.
value. On the basis of what we saw in terms of the performance, yes, Stu Wilson's bottom of the table and not yet won a match. But we know that he's got the quality. He's won a Challenge Tour event, and
100.
we've seen him really grow into that game against Thibaut Tricol, and he was on for an 11 darter in the last
43.
leg, which would have took us 3-3 and made him favourite, but just slipped into the wrong double. So enough signs there to suggest that you don't want to be jumping on that short price of Chaz Barstow.
95.
I actually think that Group B was the one where I think players will be most happiest. But I think what I've realised this week is just one swoop, one disappointment like Stu Wilson has. You don't really get a second chance, do you?
140.
So it's a lot more cutthroat, the Group B, than it might be the fact that you're playing a night 3 from 5. But there's not much manoeuvre for room for error, is there?
I wouldn't know, to be honest.
112.
Guess I'm still living off that one Group B campaign.
I can still see you bowing every time a 180 goes in. He's done him like a kipper.
26.
Chance for Wilson
Stu
here.
Wilson,
And maybe
58.
you're onto something because Chaz Barstow is having a bit of a wobble.
$18. Judge, if I go on 115.
Are you the same as me when it comes to a double? I don't have a lot of confidence when Stu gets there. Treble 19 to double 19. It's not happening for Chaz Barstow. Stu has got to take his opportunity.
This is for a breaker throw for
93.
Stu Wilson.
Do you require 40?
You don't often get 5 darts to break the throw of your opponent in the opening leg.
Game shot
Not
on
some
the
of the
first
calibre
leg.
of Chaz
Stu
Barstow, but
Wilson.
he's just not playing well tonight. Just shows you the difference between a day. I mean, Chaz Barstow, we were
Second
talking of a
against Stu to throw
potential
first.
winner yesterday.
Game
Looked
on.
back to his best. I mean, when I look back, it was a 92 was his highest average. A lot of high 80 averages from a man I've seen average just shy of 110.
100.
This is good from Stu Wilson. Finding a treble every visit to the board.
Guess
95.
He's not 2-1 now.
Five to 6 apiece on your in-play markets.
Remember to gamble responsibly.
140.
18 plus begambleaware.org.
He has just moved to be the match favourite off the back of that 140.
134.
That's why I hooked him up as a value play.
Well, when we sat in our chairs tonight,
100.
we said this could all be over after game 2 or 3. Just beginning to get very interesting, Matt.
83. Stu, come on, 161.
It could be third chance for Thibaut Tricol because he'd feel like his second chance was gone with that defeat to Adam Hunt. But Stu Wilson could just tee him up for another opportunity.
65.
I just couldn't see Stu Wilson sitting on 0 points at the end of the competition. And like I said, we use that term, the spoiler. He's 2 darts away from a 2-0 lead here.
77 scored. No, 112. $95. Stu Rock 196.
He said he didn't feel confident in him hitting a double, so he's gone for 2.
39. Judge Rock 194.
It could have been also different. Something very similar with Jerry Hendricks that we saw. Just seems to get the collie wobbles a little bit when he sees the double.
57.
Well, he doesn't need to think about the double with the first dart. It's fundamental you don't miss the big number. He doesn't. That's bang in the middle. A little nod of appreciation from himself. Am I confident here?
37.
Just
Judge
the rhythm is
required
just not
40.
the same for him compared to the other 4 players. Chance for Barstow, an unlikely chance.
Game shot on the
That's the
second leg.
difference so far. Chaz
Chaz
Barstow's a
Barstow.
lucky man to be 1-1 right now.
So look, it's Chaz to throw first.
That face of Stu Wilson's not a man who's just gone level in a game. That's a man who's
140.
feeling the weight of the situation of not being able to win a game yet in this group. It's not just what's happening on the stage now, it's the lag of the previous times he's walked up those
81.
stairs.
$93. $60.
Chance for Barstow. Such a big hitter as well to see him not to be so prolific on the treble 20.
58.
Yeah, and someone who I think benefits from a crowd. But he openly admitted there that he doesn't transfer that unbelievable form from Southampton to that stage at Portsmouth.
I've played in both of these venues and I can tell you that there is nothing. It feels like a
60.
completely different competition. There is nothing about this that resembles the old Southampton venue.
Well, the competition's evolving, isn't it? It's arguably the biggest competition out there for
134.
amateur players right now. The talk of the town, as you mentioned, dart players want to be here. The partnership now with the ADC, it's exciting times for this competition.
81. Judge requires 76. $72.
Just starting to get Adam Hunt vibes there. Adam Hunt in the last game started slow and then really warmed into it, and feels Chaz Barstow's going the same way.
59. Judge require 4.
It's not easy now because he's covered a lot of that double 2 bed. And I tell you what, that last start
No
there,
score.
hope rather than
Do you require
expectation, and Stu
160?
Wilson, part of him looked like he was like hoping that was going to go in. Well, you've got a chance, Stu. But not this time, but he's going to set it up nicely. Last chance for Barstow, you feel.
140. Judge require 4.
Last chance, 1 dart in hand. He's had to come right across
No
the oche.
score.
He got further away.
You require 20.
So you said Stu Wilson was a bit unlucky to be level. Thing with luck is it tends to balance itself back
Game
out
on the
again.
third leg. Stu
And
Wilson.
he gets that breaker throw back on the board. There's a look of steely determination until the realization
it's
sets
Stu
in
to throw
again of the
first.
situation.
Game on.
Very good first start there from Stu. When you get into legs that you feel are quite important, you see the
100.
first start go in the treble, it just relaxes you for the next 2.
$90. 121.
I was about to say interesting times and worrying times for Chaz, but just
140.
keeps involved with them 2 trebles there. For a maximum or a 140 here from Stu Wilson. I think you become a heavy favourite for this match, but like I said, when you're sat there at the bottom of the table,
60.
you throw a good dart, you don't always get the reward. Chance for Barstow.
180.
Brilliant timing from Barstow as well. He said it was a chance, a little window of opportunity presented itself. He steps right in.
140. Judge record
This
91.
game's warming up nicely. A game that means more
Game
to
shown
Barstow
the
than it does
fourth
Stu
leg.
Wilson. And
Chaz
an 11
Barstow.
dart leg there for Chaz Barstow after all those missed doubles in the last leg. Almost gave
Fifth
the
leg,
lead
it's
there
Chaz
to
to
Stu
throw
Wilson.
first. Game
Stu
on.
Wilson tried to really stamp his authority there. But Barstow just showing that touch of class that we spoke about. That touch of class
140.
that's seen him go all the way to the Alexandra Palace.
Yeah, that little come on, Chaz, after the first dart. That's what I like to see. That little bit of desire that you feel needs to be in that throw right now. He knows he's better than this. With that 140, 180, 91 and 2
140.
dart, a 140 start. These are good moments all of a sudden for Chaz Barstow, but a good response from Stu Wilson puts the pressure.
42.
And that could be the outcome in that 42 score. So once again, the pendulum changes. This time for Wilson.
$60. 42. 60.
That had one of those feels where that was a big exchange of darts, and in the last leg, Barstow hit the 180 that sort of wrestled the advantage of throw back for him.
47.
Wilson's got another opportunity here. It's a game of pass the parcel of opportunity right now.
Yeah, I think that's a good term, actually. You put yourself in a fantastic position. Then you say, there you go. You have a go.
100.
Right now, Wilson just has that tendency because this would be a breaker throw. He would have a chance to serve out for the match. But every time he's under pressure, Chaz, he seems to then find the treble.
100.
So he needs to go behind to see the best of him.
141.
Well, he may get that wish. Beautiful
109.
setup play there from Stu Wilson.
130.
Shows that touch of class. And Barstow, he can't. So it looks like for the 5th time in this game, we could get a breaker
75.
throw.
Stu required 32.
There hasn't been a lot of confidence, both from Stu Wilson and the guys in the comms, but when it comes down to double, just seems to just lack belief. And yeah, typical, he's thinking double 9. But now he's just taken too long. You can do your smiles. You are unlucky, Stu. We can all see that. Don't let it ruin your momentum of your throw. Big dart.
23.
I don't think he
Judge
wanted to
required
throw it double 9. I
55.
think it was more thinking, shall I switch? That could be the opportunity that allows him to win this match.
Game shown the 5th leg.
It's been scruffy from
Chaz
Barstow,
Barstow.
but he leads 3-2. I guess you don't win the competition on the Friday night, and he won't be happy at
Sixth
all
leg
with
is
his
Stu to
performances,
throw
but he's a leg
first.
away from a
Game on.
very, very important 2 points. Barstow deep in thought there. Stu Wilson. Scoring, okay. Doubles, must do better.
140.
So scoring okay. That's his 5th score of a 140 or more.
100.
14 scores there, over a ton. He might be adding to that column here.
But the rhythm's good when he's scoring. When he's flown at treble 20, it just feels very stop-start. And when he wants to go to a double, I'd recommend he just fires at it.
42.
Very Jerry Hendricks. He scored just like this. And it was as if a different man when he got down to a double.
140.
Charles
80.
Barstow had an 11 darter when he was really up against it after a disappointing leg. Stu Wilson is 2 darts away. Not this time, but going out with treble 16. Because he's got the luxury with Chaz Barstow all the way back on 279.
$54. Stu requires 16. Game shot on the 6th flag.
It's a sort of
Stu
game where
Wilson.
you'd want it to go to a last leg shootout because both players have had opportunity to really command this match.
7th and final leg.
I
It's
think
chance
there's
to
going to be
throw
more
first.
twists and
Game
turns. I
on.
think we're going to get an edgy moment here.
Yeah, one big score here from Barstow. He becomes a big favourite.
60.
Trebleless. So maybe you're right, Matt. Stu Wilson. His scoring's been good. And there's the treble. Second would be a bonus. He
100.
gives himself a 40-point lead. And Chaz Barstow needs to find trebles now.
48.
And if you didn't heed our warning at the start of this game about not lumping on the big favourite here in Barstow,
100.
this will be very sweaty moments now.
It's just when he's up against it, Chaz, you just find that treble.
81.
But Stu Wilson, after 6 darts, has stolen the throw. He is now favourite for this match. And that dart there is begging for more.
180.
What a time to get your first maximum of the game. Barstow needs to respond. And he isn't going to be able to.
137.
This is 6 darts
You reckon 121.
for Stu Wilson to get his first win of his Group B campaign. And he's going to need them all. He won't be able to finish from this point in this leg.
47.
Again, has only left 74 there. Scoring for sure for Stu Wilson. Barstow needs a treble.
45.
Doesn't get it. How much pressure's on this
So you
74?
require
Not
74.
a lot. Don't miss the 14, Stu. Treble is the bonus. That's not 2. That's a happy accident. At least 41. And this is for the match. Double 16. And Stu Wilson gets his first 2 points of his Group B campaign
Wilson.
against the disappointing Chaz Barstow. Group B all of a sudden has got very, very exciting. And the big winner there was Thibaut Dracol. Thibaut Dracol will be up next against the oh so impressive Paul Hogan. That's up next.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where we are halfway through our Friday night action here at the Live Lounge in Porto. Prime time himself, Matthew Edgar, has joined me up here on the balcony to assess what we've seen so far. These are the results from our first 5 matches. It kicked off with Paul Hogan winning both his matches, and because of that win before the break for Stu Wilson, that is enough to qualify him for tomorrow night's final. And Matt Edgar alongside me up here. We'll go through Paul's night then chronologically. We'll begin with game 1. That was against Adam, a 4-2 victory. And we felt, didn't we, that first game for whoever won that would set the tone for their evening.
Yeah, whoever won that, we sort of felt that was going to be the thing that's going to see them through. And he got that victory nice and early and sort of set himself away from the chasing pack. There was the 3 players going in on 6 points. Now, one thing me and Glenn Durrant's been saying a lot, though, on commentary is Paul Hogan has been looking very clinical. He's been looking very composed. He's been looking very classy. This has sort of been the Paul Hogan that we remember from those years ago, that Paul Hogan that was hitting all the big stuff and winning those tournaments around the world.
Yeah, so let's have a look then at the 2 results. We'll begin with the victory against Adam. This was his first game. In fact, that's Thibaut Tricol and Paul Hogan. We're going to see them in a couple of minutes' time. We're getting a little bit eager up here, aren't we, on the balcony? But Paul Hogan, you can actually see there, you can see he was quite relaxed there, warming up for that game against Thibaut. And I suppose as we have a look at him getting the better of Adam, he's in that situation now where he could just keep himself ticking over.
He'll be in that position now where it changes from I want to qualify to I want to win this group. No one comes into these groups and realistically wants to finish 3rd or wants to finish 2nd. Everyone came here to win the groups. Now, yes, you can take a consolation prize and go, yeah, I finished 2nd or finished 3rd and I qualified. But you want to win the group, and now that's where his focus and attention is going to turn. The way he's playing, it's going to be hard to argue against.
Let's have a look at the table then, because it's very interesting now. Paul Hogan on 10 points, Adam Hunt on 8, Chaz Barstow 6, and Chaz, who was top of the table overnight, he's the one in the biggest danger.
Yeah, I think that table really, when it's only separated by legs, we can't really say we've got a clear leader, which we didn't have at the time. But Barstow is not playing his best stuff by a long way. Thibaut Tricol is still in this. We said at the start of the show, if anyone's going to sort of upset the top 3, it's going to be Thibaut. Then you felt maybe that loss to Adam Hunt maybe would have dislodged his chances. But he's kind of got a 3rd opportunity now, a 3rd chance, due to the fact that Chaz Barstow has come here and picked up a couple of defeats.
Must be feeling a little bit like a cat with the amount of lies he's been given tonight.
Well, they get 9, don't they? I don't think he's going to quite get that many, but this is going to be a big game for him here, and it's going to be Thibaut Tricol pretty much against Barstow here, because Barstow is going to be represented by Paul Hogan.
Well, Hogan is already through. He can help the chances, well, of Chaz Barstow here. If he can get the better of the French touch, Thibaut Tricol. And alongside Matt in commentary is Glenn Durrant.
Thank you very much, Henry. Paul Hogan is through and is looking very, very good. So he can relax now. It's job done for Crocodile Dundee. And for Thibaut Tricol, he's just looking there with a real menace. He knows that this is a massive game. Probably not the player he wants to play, because Paul Hogan has been the best player in Group B so far. He's just looking better than ever. But how will Paul Hogan react? Due to the fact that he knows he's got the qualification, because that's all that matters. And he becomes the 4th player into the finals tomorrow night. Somewhere where Thibaut Tricol wants to be.
First leg,
And
it's
he's got a
Paul to
chance.
throw
That's all he
first.
could ask for, Thibaut, because
Game on.
there was a strong possibility to begin the night that it could have been all done and dusted, but some results have gone his way. And while you've got an opportunity, you've got a chance, you're still in the mix. But as Matt Edgar joins me, I was just sort of saying, Matt, how is Paul
100.
Hogan going to react, knowing the fact he's qualified? Is he going to go down the route that you say, where he wants to top the group? Or will the relaxation kick
85.
in over that desire that has been evident between him? Are we going to see the best of him?
I think we've seen relaxation, though, from him throughout this. I don't think we've seen a panicky Paul
36.
Hogan. He's been very calm and measured in everything he's done so far, just with that touch of quality.
100. 100. 100.
Hogan should start on the 19s here. He's been pretty faultless so far. It was a very, very tough Group B. I'm sure all 5 thought they could get into that
58.
3 from 5 scenario. We knew we were going to lose one of the top hitters. It was looking like this man for the majority. But he's got an opportunity. He can join 6 points with Chaz Barstow and look what the penultimate game of the night is
100.
as well. Game 9, Matt. Thibaut Tricol with a dart against
100.
Chaz
Thibaut
Barstow.
Tricol,
Is it going to go down that for
160.
qualification?
I hope so. I love watching people under pressure battling it out.
96. We record 107.
Come downstairs, looking at the 17s. Finds it for his favourite double 18.
89.
It was a bit
So
of
we
everything
require
into
20.
that double 18. Chance for T-Boy. He likes this area of the board.
Game
And that's
shot the
why
first
1-0
leg.
to the Frenchman
Thibaut
and a
Tricol.
break of throw. And part of me feels that the intensity that Paul Hogan brings to the game is a real vital
Second against
characteristic
Thibaut
of
to
him.
throw first.
And one of his main attributes. And when he knows he's qualified, part of me was thinking, does that desire go a little bit? Will it affect this
140.
game? Because that's the worst leg of darts we've seen Paul Hogan play for a long time. However, he's back in that treble 20 bed. What's the most pressure you've been in? Is it
140.
when Darius Labanauskas absolutely battered you and it looked like you weren't going to win a leg at Ali Pali? Twice.
100.
Just while you're thinking, I think for me,
100.
the most pressure after beating you 6-0 at the Players' Championship is when I went 5-0 up against you in the next one where you got down to 312. I thought I was going to lose that leg.
I thought it might have been
100.
after you lost 27 Pro Tour matches in a row and you had a dart at a double
You
to stop the rot.
had to spoil my moment, didn't you?
60. Thibaut, you record
Or when you went from
161.
inside the world's top 16 to
All
losing
right,
the
Matt.
card.
All right, Matt.
137.
All of a sudden, things are looking good for the Frenchman. I fear for Chaz Barstow right now. He's up next against Adam Hunt, a rejuvenated Adam Hunt. He can really cement his place
100.
tomorrow night, so he knows it's a big game for him.
24.
Double 12 for 2-0. Been a rapid start.
Game shot in the second leg. Thibaut Tricol.
Let's be honest with you. At the beginning of the night, Matt, you said he had the potential to go through the card. Okay, he hasn't done that, but he is beginning
it's
to
Paul to throw
potentially look
first.
good for
Game on.
qualification. But fair play to you in that last game. Stu Wilson sat on 0 points, and you felt a 2-1. It was too good of a price to miss out on. So it was a nice one for Stu Wilson.
95.
It's just beginning to be very interesting right now.
But we've been here before with Tricol. His last match, he took a 2-0 lead, broke the throw,
60.
confirmed the throw against Adam Hunt, 2-0 up, then lost the next 4 legs. And lost them without much of a challenge. Thibaut is one of those sort of players that lives every
140.
moment and remembers everything. This ain't a positive memory.
59.
And he's wincing. He'll be feeling history could be repeating itself.
Especially when he sees scores like that.
162. $85. We reckon 104. 56. $123.
There
We require
shouldn't be panic here
48.
yet, though, from Thibaut, because this was Paul Hogan's throw, so if he is going to have a bit of a wayward leg, this is the one to do it in.
16.
However, one thing I've learned about the MODUS Super Series, never give up on a leg. And one of the strengths we've said since Monday morning for Thibaut is that he doesn't give up. He has to keep
60.
believing that Paul's
We
going to miss this
require
double
32.
16. However, the way Paul Hogan's been playing the past 2 days, it'd be a surprise if he misses again.
Game shot on the third leg. Paul Hogan.
There's him just trying to gee himself up a bit, get himself going, try and find that form
Look,
again.
it's Tebow
Although
to throw first.
the body language in the last win, even though he won and got that qualification place, he came off shaking his head.
But maybe that's what he needs to get the best out of him. We've all got our own idiosyncrasies, haven't we? And that's part of what we
123.
expect with Paul Hogan.
But is that looking for perfection, setting the standards just too high?
He does his
85.
best. He knows what he needs to do to get the best out of him. And let's be honest with you, he's been brilliant this campaign. And he's looking very, very good tomorrow night. And who's to say he won't be lifting that £5,000 prize tomorrow? 4 terrific players in there now. If we start to look, Berry Van Peer, top of Group A. Then we had Group C today, Rob Grundy, who's I still think the best for him to come. Robert Thornton.
100.
What a story that would be. And now Paul Hogan in the mix. Lucky you that you're going to be here with Scott Mitchell in the comms box.
140.
Just pose that question mark over Thibaut Tricol. And then he hits 1, 2, 3 and back-to-back 140s. Absolutely fantastic
100.
darts here from Thibaut
We have a
Tricol.
198.
Left Hogan in his rear view mirrors. When you've scored that heavy, you've got that little bit of time to make that little bit of a slip up, to make that mistake. Just use
46.
the extra setup shot.
Yeah, no need to panic. He's left a 2-darter, a finish that these guys will practice an awful lot. But Paul Hogan's going to leave this pretty. Can he get another treble to really put pressure on that 52? He can.
140.
These
We
are
require
important
52.
moments for Thibaut Tricol. 2 darts, double 16. He resets, he refocuses.
Game
3-1.
shot on the fourth leg.
That's what you
Thibaut
need to
Tricol.
do. And you can hear the sigh of desperation from the players there. And I'm guessing that'll be Chaz Barstow.
Fifth leg, it's
gonna
Paul
be
to throw
panic
first.
for Chaz
Game
Barstow.
on.
But he's going to be coming up against an Adam Hunt who's also going to be looking to confirm his place in Saturday night, and he will do so by beating Chaz Barstow.
140.
So you feel the wrong game at the wrong time there for Barstow. Hunt could be job done and put the feet up.
60.
Yeah, you can go top of the table, Adam Hunt, if Tricol does beat Hogan here. So that might be just a little motivation for Adam against an out of sorts, you feel, Chaz Barstow.
100.
Well, I posed the question to you earlier, and you said you would like to see more of Group B before you decide. But pick a winner tomorrow night, Matt. To be fair,
100.
I'll give you some credit. You're normally very good, so I'm sure people will be listening.
I'm going to pick a player who hasn't even qualified yet.
100.
I'm going to go with Adam Hunt. I'm sure tomorrow night I'll change it multiple times.
100.
But at the moment, I just feel that this is the time of year he needs to start producing if he is going to get that mission of regaining that tour card.
Yeah, good dart here from Hogan. Leaves 81.
95.
I do like the bullseye on that last dart. Just to guarantee yourself a 2-darter. And Thibaut Tricol is a long way back.
125.
It's a nice finish from Tricol to leave.
66.
This makes this 66. A little bit modest. It's only going to be 1 dart. And his beloved double 18. Friend or foe?
30. Did we require 160?
They might be the last darts he throws, because if Tricol can see off this 116, this group is going to get mightily interesting.
Now, ironic. The double he needs is double 18. The go-to for Paul Hogan.
Game shot and the
Thibaut
match.
Tricol is welcome
Thibaut
to the party.
Tricol.
We've been waiting for that performance from the Frenchman. Big smiles. Magnanimous in defeat as always, Paul Hogan. He knows he's qualified. Thibaut's given himself a real good opportunity, and it's Chaz Barstow who's looking behind him, and he's up next against Adam Hunt.
Well, the Cats are very much amongst the pigeons at this present moment in time, because that 4-1 victory for Thibaut Tricol against Paul Hogan has made things very interesting. Hogan, who is already through on 10 points, but things are incredibly tight now at the top end of the table, especially now that Adam Hunt's taken on Chaz Barstow. Hunt on 8 points. He can see himself through with a victory. Barstow on 6 points here. And Tricol is an interested spectator in behind, watching this one, Glenn and Chris.
Yeah, thank you, Henry.
First leg, it's Chaz to throw first. Game
Expertly
on.
refereed by Owen Binks. You feel it's a bigger game for this man in your picture. However, it's an opportunity for Adam Hunt and all the trials and tribulations of the week.
180.
Get himself through with victory over Chaz Barstow, who provides his best 3 darts of the night.
I wonder what Chrissy thinks
59.
down here today. Is it Murphy? Is it Mason? That it's Glenn and Chris in commentary. I don't know if I need to go all puntastic or not now.
98.
Well, it's the pigeons amongst the cats last time.
100.
Said Barstow felt like he was bringing his best out when he was behind.
135.
He's now getting behind in terms of the table. Or certainly getting brought into the battle with Tricol.
47. Judge require 88. $48.
After only 12 darts, Chaz Barstow looking good for a holder throw. And Adam Hunt is virtually still walking to the stage. He has not come out of the traps
100.
at all.
Required 40. Game shot on the first leg.
Where's that come from?
Barstow.
That is the Chaz Barstow I thought we were going to get from the first leg of his tonight.
So much quicker as well, isn't he? He's racing
Second
around
leg,
the
it's Adam to
stage.
throw first. Game on.
13 darter, which equates to a 115 average. If he can continue that, he'd feel good.
59. $81.
Yeah, I think the match needs to start for Adam Hunt with these 3 darts because he looked a little bit shell-shocked there. And as I say that, welcome to
140.
the match, Adam Hunt. Very upright,
180.
very good, very smooth. And that's his second 180 of this match.
Feels like
52.
the pace of Adam Hunt is really suiting Chaz here because he's able just to get into his own rhythm and sort of pace that he wants.
Yeah, that's not like for Adam Hunt. He'd never change his
100.
game. I think his philosophy is I'll play my game, and if someone's good enough, fair enough. But you'll see some players who can adjust and play a bit quicker, a bit slower. I guess if I played Chaz Barstow, you know, there's the potential they won't
94.
like the fact of
Judge
that
require
pace.
140.
And sometimes you need that right dance partner. And right now, seems to be suiting this man because this performance is coming from absolutely nowhere.
130. And I'm here record
That would have been a
156.
12 darter to complement his 13 in the first. This is interesting. Double 18. That would have been for the highest
120.
finish of the week
Judge
so
require
far.
10.
And on the back of his opponent, just missing the 140. It's only going to be a dart. A dart at double 2.
Game
For
shot on the
2-0.
second leg. Chaz Barstow.
Chaz Barstow has turned up in this game.
Rapid time.
Feel like it's Chaz to throw
Once
first.
again, is
Game
Adam
on.
Hunt looking in his wing mirrors. He's on 8 points, and if you just look at the impact it would be if Chaz Barstow does win this match.
100.
Look at the legs difference. Paul Hogan has already qualified. 6 plus 6. Chaz Barstow, Adam Hunt, both on 8 points. And
59.
Tricol plays Chaz Barstow. He's on 6 points. It's getting interesting.
135. $140. 34.
It's getting to that point where if Barstow continues like this, the only route for Tricol is one of those ridiculous leg swings where
52.
he's going to need to win 4-0 and someone lose 4-0.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was just trying to work out there. The best Tebow can do is +2.
65.
If Adam Hunt loses this game, he can go down to +3. After that win from Adam Hunt against Tebow, I didn't think we'd be getting the calculator out for him. But this is a
80. Chaz
terrific performance from Chaz
167.
Barstow, averaging over 100. Just looks a different man all of a sudden, doesn't he? This would be special. This would be the
Game shot
highest
the
finish of the
third
week.
leg.
Chaz Barstow, where has this
Barstow.
performance come from? Absolutely class.
Fourth leg, it's Adam to throw first. Game on.
Adam there just trying to dig, trying to fight, trying to find something. But he's got to find
41.
20 points on his average here to just find par with Chaz Barstow.
Adam Hunt's had
59.
some incredible disappointments this week. Some real highs, some real lows. And once again, it's still going to be something incredible for Tebow Tricol to turn round. He has to win
59.
big against Chaz Barstow in this form. Chaz is in. That's going to be a tough ask anyway. And rely on Stu Wilson doing a job on Adam Hunt at the end.
60.
Didn't think I'd be saying this, but we could be going down to the final game of the night.
$59.
And this is a rapid game. We've only been playing 6 minutes. And Chaz Barstow was potentially 90 seconds away from victory.
140.
He's not far away. You feel like his family and friends probably going to be starting
93.
to look on dartshop.tv to get their tickets here for tomorrow night.
How would you explain to somebody how someone can have
48.
a very, very poor night by their quality and then literally 20 minutes later put a performance like this in?
I'd just say those playing darts. And anyone who's played the game would fully understand what we need.
180.
And every leg of darts that Adam Hunt wins could be
22. Adam, you're requiring
Vital.
69. Game shot on the fourth leg.
absolutely superb.
Adam
Adam
Hunt.
Hunt. Bounce back ability.
Fifth leg, it's Chaz to throw first. Game on. $180.
Brilliant. What a performance. That's his third 180 of this match.
100.
Performance of the night for me so far, just purely based on the fact that he just hasn't been himself all night. And 3 180s, pace is good, his form is
134.
good, he's check out 3 from 5. The all-round performance from Chaz Barstow here, and his moments away. Or is he?
I'll go one deeper and say so
140.
far this is the performance of the week. Because the position he was getting himself in, the danger of Tricol closing that gap and knocking him out of a qualification
79.
place, to then produce this sort of performance and turn it all into one of those miracle situations now for Tricol if he is going to get through.
57. Judge require 108.
Just a brilliant performance from Barstow. He's allowed himself the time here to make this mistake due to the fact of that
35.
scoring power.
Yeah, he should have left something a little bit prettier than 73, that's for sure. So just a little chance here for Adam Hunt, but you feel he needs a couple of trebles.
42.
And
Judge
is
require
that the beginning of the
73.
end for Adam Hunt in this match? Chaz leaves them 54. The big 14. Oh, a dart at the match, and that
Game
is some
shot and the
performance from Chaz
match.
Barstow. He says,
Chaz
where has that come from?
Barstow.
And Adam Hunt says, why me? Real solid performance from Chaz Barstow. It wasn't looking good for him at some stages of tonight, but that's the calibre of the man. And look at the numbers there, 95.88. That's staggering, 167. The best finish of the night, 4 from 6. Superb. Chaz Barstow is next up. It's Stu Wilson against Paul Hogan.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. That man, Paul Hogan, is already through. We're still awaiting to find out who is going to join him into the finals tomorrow evening. But before the break, we saw a fantastic performance from Chaz Barstow to round off a 4-1 victory against Adam Hunter. 95.88 average, a 167 checkout, and 4 out of 6 on the finishing. This is what we've seen then so far this evening. 3 games left to go, and this is how the table marries up. Paul Hogan, top of the pile, 10 points to his name. Victory here would put him on to 12 points. This is his final game of the group. As for Stu Wilson, he's got a couple more to go here before he then takes part in the ADC belt match tomorrow afternoon from 5 o'clock. Right, in the commentary box, it's Matthew Edgar, who's alongside Glenn Torrance.
Thank you, Henry. Paul Hogan, the man in your picture there. Barring his last game against Thibaut Tricol, he has been absolutely fabulous in this Group B campaign. It was a tasty group when we first looked at it, and Paul Hogan rightfully sits at the top and will fancy his chances against Stu Wilson here, who has had his first victory against Chaz Barstow. But the difference between Chaz Barstow in that game and Chaz Barstow against Adam Hunt in the last game is just night and day. Nothing really
First
to play
leg
for
Stu
here.
to throw first.
Some may argue the fact
on.
that Paul Hogan can confirm his top spot when you start looking at the groups in the finals. And for Stu Wilson, can he go 2 wins on the spin?
He's got some darts to play tomorrow night. He's going to be battling out for the ADC belt.
60.
And the one thing he wouldn't have wanted to have done is gone into that game off the back of not winning anything here. So that first win's the first part of it done.
100.
He's still got 2 more games here. He's got this game with Paul Hogan and the last one with Adam Hunt, which could still have significance come that final game.
Yeah, we'll come to that in
60.
the next match because it all depends on the result. Still something to play for there. But Chaz Barstow and Paul Hogan will be there on Saturday night.
60.
That we can confirm.
He's got 1
140.
more place left up for grabs. Adam Hunt, Thibaut Tricol will be battling out for that place in their final fixtures.
100.
Thibaut Tricol taking on Chaz Barstow, Adam Hunt taking on Stu Wilson. And that is where we're going to need not just results, but it's going to come down to legs and legs won, and it's all going to get a bit messy. We will talk you through it as we try and confirm the final position in week 6.
60.
Finals night, where £5,000 is on the line.
100. 140. Ball you record 141.
41 for Wilson, a man who's had
Steve required
torrid time
41.
the start of his Group B campaign, but he's ending it well.
Nine.
A classic case
require
of Paul Hogan,
11.
known he's qualified. And one of those players where he needs the blood going through his body to get the best out of him. He's just not the same when he's super relaxed.
No score.
What a difference that
So
can
you
do. So when
require
people are talking
32.
about nerves and adrenaline going through your body, some players need it. Paul Hogan's one of those examples.
No score.
Well, 10 out of 10 for grouping.
All you require 11.
Surely this time for Hoagie.
Game shown the first leg.
Yeah,
Paul
puts his arms
Hogan.
in the air, the obligatory shake of the head. Shoulders go up and down. Just show me tomorrow
Second
night, you
against
say.
Paul to throw
Get
first.
me out of here.
Game on. 140.
Sort of feel that this is the appetizer for the main event, for the main course that is about to come.
The
60.
hors d'oeuvre.
Been known to like a starter or two, haven't you, Glenn?
Prawn cocktail, of course. What would be your favourite three-courser?
Oh, I do
45.
love a nice tomato soup.
Hey, God, you said that as if it was an exciting starter. I like
100.
to grow vegetables, and I like my meat, and I like my veg. That's the kind of answer I would give. Not you.
85.
And for mains, I'd like chicken nuggets and chips.
The bit of Tommy K.
Feels
60.
flat this game, doesn't it? That classic one where Stu Wilson can't play for anything in this game, apart from, like I said, the integrity, the professionalism of winning a game against a top-notch player. But
99.
Paul Hogan, all that adrenaline seems to have gone, and he's just not the same player when he's super relaxed. That's all. That's my assessment for what I'm seeing here from Hoagie. Maybe the pace of Stu Wilson's not suiting Hoagie's game, but he's
97.
still in a fantastic
We reckon
position and 132
132
points for a 2-0 lead. Doesn't need to go for it, but in a match like this, I think he will.
91.
We've got two stories, haven't we, tomorrow, for people that are trying to put right the wrongs. Paul Hogan and Robert Thornton, two people who probably feel they should have won one of these weeks by now. Yet to perform on
100.
finals
We
night.
require 41.
They both can't win it. Someone's going to have a little bit more misery.
He's persevering with that double 18.
Game shot in the
That's the
second
reason why.
leg. Paul
Of
Hogan.
course, the arms go in the air, because that is Paul Hogan.
Feel like it's Stu to throw first. Game on.
Should be quite a few in the audience as well. If Chaz Barstow said he's bringing a few, Paul Hogan, I can imagine, would bring supporters to Portsmouth. Just a shame for Adam Hunt. Everyone's a long way away.
97.
Or will it be Thibaut Tricol? We'll come to the permutations of that game next. But you can join us. Simply scan that QR code. There is a small booking
45.
fee to be here. And on a Saturday night, it's just made that extra special. $5,000 they're playing for and a place in Champions Week. But for me, the crowd make all the difference. Just create a unique atmosphere.
59.
And
Yep.
you get the chance to meet Matt Edgar.
Well, I am told it's going to be quite busy tomorrow night, so if you are thinking about coming down, get that QR code scanned pretty quick
30.
because it may fill up. Yeah, bumper crowd in here tomorrow night. What a lineup they're coming to see.
Yeah, one of the best finals of the series so
140.
far, in my opinion. And you've got a case for the 5 people who've qualified already. Who will be the 6th? It's looking good for Adam Hunt. It's still in his hands. He plays the final game of the night
60.
against the man approaching the hockey right now. Stu Wilson's been a difficult campaign for Stu. Maybe just in the wrong group. He might have fancied his chances in Group C, but just didn't start well. And yeah,
60.
he's lacked a little bit of momentum throughout.
$81. So you require 145.
Look at treble 15 or treble 19 for double 14. This will be his finish of the week.
Game shot in the third leg.
And that
Stu
smile is saying,
Wilson.
where have them finishers been? Where have them doubles been? But it's there. Stu Wilson has a good pedigree, a challenge to a winner, as
it's
Matt
Paul to
Edgar
throw
alluded to
first.
earlier.
Game on.
Just hasn't happened for him this week. But them types of finishers are in the locker.
$100. $27. $100.
Did you see Paul Hogan in the seniors? Good competition, do you feel? Surprised the way Taylor's playing.
60.
Yeah, I mentioned at the start of the show that I was getting into that habit now of starting to write Paul Hogan off, where you sort of feel, have we seen his best days? And then
36.
the last sort of month, he's revitalising himself again. Sort of feel next year, though, that
100.
we may see the power go in the same way. I think got got to win one of them titles at some point.
Well, he was 12-1 beforehand, sort of maybe 6 or 7 favourites.
95.
Didn't look at his brilliant best. Like I say, he's been working on his fitness, and it would be a better competition with Bill Taylor playing. But only he'll know how much he's putting the work in, how much practicing he's doing.
85. We
Well,
require
Paul Hogan,
170.
He's been marvellous so far. This would be the coup de grace, the cherry on the cake, but it's not to be.
100.
But even despite being in third gear, he's 70 points away from a 3-1 lead.
$180. We require 70.
Brilliant first start from Hogan. He's in 2 darts at the 88. That looks handy.
62.
That looks like an opportunity
Stu
for
requires
Stu
49.
Wilson. Carved out by that big 180, the first 180 of this match. And that is timing. From the man who's going to be hoping to lift that ADC belt up in the air on that stage tomorrow evening.
Game shot
Darts
the
like that are
forfeit.
what's going to give him those
Stu Wilson.
opportunities. He levels it up. He was 2-0 down. He's showing some fight. He's showing some
If they get
determination.
Stu to throw first, game on.
And that is kind of going to be interesting when we look ahead. And we see that he is going to be back on that stage a little bit later on against Adam Hunt. And that could still have significance.
100.
Yeah, I don't think this game will be frightening Adam Hunt. Stu Wilson averaging round about 84. You could see the disappointment from Paul Hogan there. The treble 18 was absolutely perfect. But 2
92.
darts to double 16. Had that been the beginning of the night, I think Paul Hogan would have smashed that in. It's that classic case. He knows his competition is done. He knows he's qualified. And that buzz
100.
is just not in his throw right now.
$140.
Coming up next, Thibaut Tricol, Chaz Barstow. Big game for Tricol. It's not just about winning,
60.
though, for Tricol. He's got to win big.
Yeah, without being disrespectful for these two. Yeah, the last 2 games I'm really looking forward to.
$124.
But darts from Hogan. This would be for a breaker throw. It is Stu's darts in this leg. 100 behind. Was at this point in the last leg he smashed in the 180. His setup play right now is magnificent.
180.
The second of the match.
145.
This would be a worldie.
We've already seen the 145 in this game. Stu Wilson got it to get his first leg on the board.
129.
to hit
Stu
back.
requires 61.
But Wilson to take the lead for the first time in this match. To turn around what was a 2-0 deficit.
Yeah, the next 20, 30 seconds could determine this game. Can Wilson put this away? As Hogan is sat pretty.
52.
Chance
We
for
require
Hogan. A
16.
roles reversal of the previous leg. Doubles just deserting him right now. He's chattering away to himself. You can see it's not easy.
Game shot on the
What
5th
a
leg.
dart that is.
Paul Hogan.
A beautiful dart. Didn't need to use the tungsten from the previous 2. Just clean as a whistle.
6th leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
You can see what this means to Stu Wilson still. He was stood at the back of the stage staring out as if it was one of those moments where he was sort of on the verge of qualifying or not. You can see the
140.
passion that he plays this game with.
But I think it's something you touched on. The fact that I think he's playing and he's already thinking of his belt match for the Northwest title against Carl Sneed tomorrow. He doesn't want to go into that
123.
game on a damn squib. And I think that's the reason why he's putting a lot of effort still into this match. And I think that's the disappointment.
60.
You just don't want to lose focus and essentially throw lazy darts and get into lazy habits, because then you've got to find a way out of those habits and to break those.
100.
Same thing in practice. A lot of people practice that bit too long where they then start practicing lazy.
Yeah, listen to your body when you practice.
100.
What was the most you used to practice?
2 hours at most. Anything more than that, we just can't physically concentrate as humans for. Scientifically proven.
100.
Miss Hogan 6 darts away from victory and topping the group going into tomorrow night's final. She could go for the bull with the last dart.
83.
His setup play from here, Wilson, has been excellent. Not this time. Chance for Hogan.
40.
Has he got Stu Wilson's
We
number?
require
It's
180.
118.
He doesn't.
78.
Great last start there from
Give it
Paul Hogan, though.
138.
Sets himself up on top of the match. Can Stu Wilson pull out another big ton-plus checkout? No.
But
26.
without being at his
We
brilliant
require
best, Paul
40.
Hogan, even with his B game, he's been in control of this game. It's tops to win the group. And tops it
Game,
is.
shot,
Paul
and the
Hogan will be
match.
there on Saturday
Paul
night
Hogan.
as the Group B winner. And for Stu Wilson, he will be back. He's still got a really important part to play as he plays Adam Hunt for a big game, the penultimate game of Group B. It's Thibaut Tricol against Chaz Barstow up next.
A very warm welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. We're joined up here by the group winner, Paul Hogan. Paul, many congratulations. Some really good play out there. You must be feeling really good about things at the minute.
Absolutely fantastic. I mean, if you'd have said at the start of Thursday and Friday they'd finish top of the league, I'd have ripped your hand off. But yeah, I mean, I've played quite well today. My counting's a bit off in spasms. I should really stop and think about it. But yeah, I'm happy to win the group.
What was your preconceptions coming in? Was it about just getting through no matter what to Saturday?
Yeah, it was. I just thought. I mean, it was a tough group, but you would have thought that Adam and Chaz would have been top of league. I just back all the way and got through.
And so back into tomorrow night's final, then you were saying yesterday that you've been practicing a little bit more now, you've been doing a lot more in your spare time, and the results of it have most certainly been proven here.
Yes, you know, the wife told me to get back on the board, and cause I'm lazy, you know, cause I'm getting old. But no, it's working. You know, I'm consistent. My throws there. Okay, I have the odd spasms here, there, and everywhere. But yeah, my form's good. I think so.
So into tomorrow night, what's the thinking for you? Is it just take it one game at a time, or are you already looking at that trophy?
I'm just playing for fun. That's, you know, I mean, I take it serious, but I'm just playing for fun. You know, there's a lot of opportunity, but you know, I'm just here to play for fun, and I'm up for it.
Well, Paul, it's great to see you up for it. Great to see the fire in your belly. We'll see you tomorrow night. Many congratulations. Paul Hogan through to the final. Next up for us, Thibaut Tricol against Chaz Barstow. And things become a little bit more apparent to see who is going to join this man into the finale. Let's hand back to the boys in the box.
Really big. It seems a while since we've seen Thibaut Tricol, but a big win is what he requires. A minimum, Matthew Edgar, 4-2 victory over Chaz Barstow. Which Chaz Barstow, Matt, are we going to get?
First leg, it's Thibaut to throw first. Game on.
Well, Chaz Barstow, last time out, really produced his best stuff against Adam Hunt.
100.
He's going to need that here because Thibaut Tricol, inspired coming up to the back end of this day. But this isn't just about the win, like you say. This is about how many legs it wins by as well.
60.
Yeah, strange all night for Chaz Barstow. Just did not come out the traps in his open couple of games.
140. 60. 41.
Couple of 140 some Barstow, but that 41. I was just thinking how much Tricol will be thinking at
100.
this stage. I don't imagine he knows that he needs to win 4-0, 4-1 or 4-2. But that is the situation. And then you're hoping
60.
that Stu Wilson can do a real number on Adam Hunt. So it's very much in the hands of Adam Hunt right now.
97.
A good last
That's
start
like
there in
120.
Shanghai for Barstow. Right at this stage, you just don't know what you're going to get from him.
40.
But that's the
You may
kind of
require
electricity,
84.
the kind of ferocity that can do good on a Saturday night. Can he get there? Double 6 for Tricol.
Game's on the first leg.
Could get interesting.
Thibaut Tricot.
Like we said, Thibaut Tricot needs to win this match a minimum 4-2. So like I said, Adam Hunt
Second
won't be
against chance to throw
panicking too much,
first. Game on.
irrespective of what the score is. It's still in the hands of the man from County Durham. But Thibaut, part of him be left frustrated because he hasn't been
57.
anywhere near his brilliant best in this Group B. And like I say, he's still a big outsider, but all he can do is go out there and do a job on Chaz Barstow. And so far, so good.
100.
Said we don't know what to expect from Chaz Barstow, and then if we don't know what to expect from Chaz Barstow,
96.
I guess Chaz Barstow doesn't know what to expect, and with that just comes that little lack of confidence.
140.
Tricol is fighting here. He is digging deep.
Yeah, the last time we seen Tricol, it was a 4-1 victory over Paul Hogan.
100.
He's finishing like an absolute sprinter. Is it just a little too late? Because he would be a wonderful addition to the finals on Saturday. He just
100.
complements it in different ways. An international flavour, which is all what the MODUS Super Series is about right now. And he is one of the best amateur players in the world.
85.
Tricol, he's a
To be like
former
161.
finalist of the WDF World Championships. This would be special.
83.
Yeah, actually like the 18s on that last start there, but 78 after 12, he's looking good. And the Barstow that we're seeing right now is the one that we're seeing at the beginning of the night.
59. To be requires 78.
Chaz Barstow will be here tomorrow night. He's got the legs in the bank. It's all about Thibaut Tricol and Adam Hunt.
58.
Chance for Barstow.
104.
He's going to get a dart at tops. I was
84.
about to say he was never in that leg
To
of
be
darts.
required 20.
Thibaut Tricol does like this double 10 area of the board.
Every leg matters for Tricol.
10.
And that is huge. He's had a big opportunity here.
Judge
He's
required 20.
missed 4 darts.
Game's
Every
on the
leg that
second
Chaz
leg.
Barstow
Chaz
picks
Barstow.
up, Adam Hunt becomes more and more likely to be taking that position, and you can see the
Well,
reaction
against
from
Thibaut to
Tricol.
throw first.
He knows that he needed this to be as big as possible. And when you've got 4 darts to break the throw and you do not take those chances, you will feel like the opportunity is just
83.
slipping away.
Yeah, I spotted that there, Matt. His head just went down because that tells me he knows the situation. That tells me he knows what he needs to do.
100.
And the big winner for every dart that Chaz Barstow hits the double is actually Adam Hunt. That'll take the pressure off him, but Adam Hunt will only be at the focus of playing
100.
Stu Wilson asking, where he'll be a big favourite anyway.
$95. 45.
He's just been so inconsistent as Thibaut Tricol. I'm actually quite disappointed in his campaign this week.
47.
At times in Group A. I mean, there was a moment on Wednesday, he looked like being the group winner. But the Thibaut Tricol that I know
95.
and respect, he didn't perform yesterday, and he's flattered to deceive once again tonight.
59.
Can Chaz Barstow win it tomorrow night? Flashes of brilliance. Do they win?
Of course he can win it. I mean, if we
100.
cast your mind back not too long ago, you'd have said Chaz Barstow was the big favourite to have won this. But I don't think it's whether I believe it, you believe it, Scott Mitchell or Henry
60.
believe it.
Timmy requires 78.
I think it comes down to does Chaz Barstow actually believe it.
Game shot in the third leg. Thibaut Tricol.
Phew, he says. Ooh la la. And like I said, the flashes of brilliance.
Well, I think it's chance to throw
It's
first.
just the inconsistency. I know his game's there. I know how good Thibaut Tricol is. I actually feel he'll be a professional dart player this time next year to
80.
join his good friend Jacques Labre. He is applying his trade, but it's a tough skill. Jacques is, guess he's learning on the job, and a guy who we met at the MODUS Super Series and got to know him a little bit better.
45.
It was a terrific performance through the European Q School for Jacques Labre, and Thibaut Tricol will have dreams and aspirations to follow him to be there.
45.
And we've talked about the relationships this week, Matt, in the players area. When you're on that professional circuit, now, you know, when I think
41.
of you, Matt, I think of Ryan Searle and, you know, the relationships. It's really important to have that friend. And maybe Jacques Labre is missing Thibaut Tricol not being there every week. He has had some
78.
invites this year. But just to be able to travel with someone is really important.
Makes a big, big difference. It's a very lonely place, that tour.
100.
Just being able to just speak to somebody or just go out for dinner with somebody rather than it just be
95.
on your own all the time, because it can become a very lonely place, especially if you're not getting the results.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that first start on 315. I've seen players do that.
132.
A couple of treble 20s complemented with a 25 would have left a finish. The treble 17 should be the shot.
129.
Lateral drift into the treble 3, but a big chance for Barstow to level a 2-2.
137. Judge required 74.
Oh, now it's interesting, because 73 is now a difficult 2-darter. Look at treble 19 for double 8. It's not to be. Tricol has a chance here for 3-1. This is a really
29.
good,
Required 46.
solid part of the game for Tricol. You've got to fancy him when he wants finishes like this. It's double 16. That's wild, though.
30.
That is not Thibaut
Judge
Tricol
required
with them 3
45.
darts. He is not at his best. And Chaz Barstow once again has got another chance.
He's
35.
got another opportunity. I mean,
Zero
when we look at
requires
who's the first
16.
to a double, Tricol has been there. Every leg. He could have got the 4-0 victory that would have
Game's
really
on the
given him an
fourth leg.
opportunity.
Thibaut Tricol.
But he's got the darts now for a 4-1. Adam Hunt will still have this in his own hands. We're only talking leg difference, and that only comes into
Fifth leg,
play
it's Thibaut to
if
throw
Adam
first.
Hunt does
Game on.
not beat Stu Wilson. He can still lose the game and go through.
So if we look at the in player, Adam Hunt there is on +4.
81.
Thibaut Tricol, if he wins this leg, would go to +1. So we'll give you the permutations as Adam Hunt plays
140.
Stu Wilson. Quite simply for Adam Hunt, the mentality known Adam was, if I win the game, I'm through.
140.
That's probably the best way. I mean, the only similarities I can put in this situation is when you play in competitions like the Grand Slam.
100.
And sometimes, you know, if you just win a couple of legs, you get qualification, but that can take a lot of the dynamism of your game. You've got to just focus on what's
100.
most important, and that's the 2 points.
One 100.
140 here would be nice.
One 100. Judge record
Didn't seem to grip the
161.
dart well. But he knew he had to win this game 4-0, 4-1 or 4-2.
49.
And
Zero
he's 80
required
points away
80.
from achieving that. Job done for
Game
Thibaut
shot and
Tricol.
the match.
It's a difficult task to beat
Thibaut
Chaz
Tricol.
Barstow 4-1, but he's done that, and it's over to you, Adam Hunt. Didn't expect this Group B campaign to go down to the last game, but that's exactly what he does. Very professional from the Frenchman, as he saved his best to last. Well, the final game is up next. It's Adam Hunt against Stu Wilson.
Well, here we go then. It goes down to the final game of the group because Thibaut Tricol has kept himself in contention courtesy of a 4-1 victory before the break there against Chaz Barstow, saving a big performance for last, has the French touch. Right, so let's see what's going to happen here. Final game of the group sees Adam Hunt take on Stu Wilson, and Wilson is in to bat for Tricol. Hunt needs a couple of legs to go through. Watching this one in the commentary box is Matt Edgar and Glenn Doan.
Yes, thank you very much, Henry. And Adam Hunt will not want to know he only needs a couple of legs. Hence the reason why Henry Deacon is just behind there. Really said that quietly because Adam Hunt is the type of player who just want to win this game.
Game on.
Another fantastic job by the referees today. Charlie Costafine, and in your picture there was Owen Binks. And over to you, Adam Hunt. You need 2 legs
55.
for qualification. Oh, yesterday when these two played in the first leg, Stu Wilson totally and utterly outscored Adam Hunt. And Adam Hunt pulled an absolute worldie of a finish with
83.
2 double 19s. And the campaign for Stu Wilson was never the same after that. It doesn't look like there's any panic or stress in Adam's
57.
demeanour. But if he goes 1 or 2 legs down, this could get incredibly tight.
100.
Well, we know 5 of the finalists tomorrow. Group A winner, Berry Van Peer. From Group C, Robert Thornton and Rob Grundy. Already Chaz Barstow and
140.
Paul Hogan. Who will be the final? Will it be Adam Hunt or will it be Thibaut Tricol?
60.
One thing we know from the back end of this campaign is Stu Wilson is going to push Adam Hunt all the way to the very final dart in this one. He has been digging deep. Did manage to get his first victory a couple of games ago against Chaz Barstow.
65.
He did everything right apart from the execution there. Adam Hunt, he just took his time. He knew that 18 would have left the big fish. And Stu Wilson is back on that treble 20 bed. There's that inconsistency from Wilson.
80.
A really fascinating week here at the MODUS Super Series. At times, some
136.
blistering darts, a lot of missed opportunities. And we are coming down to the final game to get the final name. Adam Hunt's setup play there with that 136 has given him a really good chance here. However, Adam Hunt at critical moments this week
44.
when he's
And
had
requiring 48.
competition and dart in his hand has faltered on the doubles. If he can put this to bed,
Game shown the first
he'll
leg.
be feeling good about
Adam
himself.
Hunt.
And to do that in 2 darts is halfway to qualification.
You say, I don't know if Adam Hunt's
Second
aware of the
shooter
situation. I can
first.
tell you for a fact Thibaut Tricol will be. He'll be stood in the back watching this on the monitor. There is a screen in the players' room so they can see every dart that's been thrown. And Tricol will be living every single one of these moments.
121.
Hoping Stu Wilson can just find a little bit of inspiration. But this is an inspired man right here.
180.
Yes, averaging over 100 very early in this match, but it's a good indication that he's not tight. It's a good indication that nerves are getting the best of Adam Hunt right now because I don't think he
100.
expected to go right down to the last game, and he has such high expectations of himself. I don't think he'll be happy with the way this has gone, but it's all about qualification. And
44.
my man next to me does feel that he will be the champion and lifting that trophy tomorrow. And the good thing for Adam Hunt is that Matthew Edgar is not often wrong with his predictions. He's kept them much to the minimum today. But he
60.
did say that that man in your picture would be Chaz Barstow earlier 2-1, and he did. So if he keeps up that record, then the man in your picture will be picking up $5,000 tomorrow.
96.
First of all, he's got to get there. He just needs one of these 4 legs. Stu Wilson keeping him honest.
140.
80 points away from taking away one of those opportunities, one of
58.
those lives
Do
for
you
Adam
require
Hunt.
80? Game shot on the
That's
second
one
leg.
gone.
Stu Wilson.
One down. 3 to go for Stu Wilson in a chance to put Thibaut Tricol through and take out Adam
Feel like it's
Hunt.
Adam to throw first.
How do
Game
you
on.
assess the campaign for Stu Wilson then?
One word. Disappointing. And I'm sure if you asked him, he would say exactly the same.
140.
I thought I didn't know if he was sneezing or coughing there, but whatever it was, it didn't put off Adam Hunter with the 140. And he's saying, please keep coughing, Stu.
$100.
We've seen the beginning of
134.
the end of this fascinating week. Adam Hunt is moments away from qualification to be the final participant in what will be a superb final tomorrow night.
60.
We're seeing him make his move here. 6 starts thrown. 4 major trebles.
57.
Be some way to guarantee qualification, wouldn't it? The 170 finish.
Stu Wilson's like that little chihuahua, isn't he?
121.
biting at the ankles.
Adam, you require 170.
But it's in the hands of this man. Treble 19. One treble would be nice.
96.
One treble he gets 74 for qualification. When you're in that players area, are you chatting about the table? Are you looking at permutations?
29.
You
Adam,
are if
require
you're top.
74.
I can imagine if you're a bit further down, you don't want to speak about it too much.
Game
But
shot on the
that
third
is
leg.
game over,
Adam
table
Hunt.
done, qualification confirmed. Adam Hunt completes the lineup going into
Well, look at
Saturday
Stu
night.
to
We
throw
now
first.
know all
Game
6
on.
players, and we can now firmly make that prediction of who's going to be winning. So you're not here tomorrow, Glenn.
100.
We know the 3 players from this group that are Chaz Barstow, Adam Hunt, Paul Hogan, joined by Robert Grundy, Robert Thornton and Berry Van Peer. I'm going to ask you the same question you asked me,
100.
and I can relay this tomorrow. Who wins?
Well, my heart would say Adam Hunt or Rob Grundy, purely because the guys are from the northeast, but both of them have messaged me and said,
55.
don't you dare predict that we're going to win, because they know how bad that is. I think Paul Hogan's been absolutely superb. I think Chaz Barstow might still have a little way to go. I'm going to go for the romance. I'm going to go for Robert Thornton.
One of 2 players who feel they've got a point to prove on Saturday night. Robert
140.
Thornton, Paul Hogan, both players who have disappointed when they've got through to finals night. Can one of them put it right tomorrow? So many questions to be answered.
140.
Yeah, if only Adam Hunt could be seeing what we're seeing, but when he's so fluid and fluent on that second and third dart, when the speed increases, he looks really good. But Stu Wilson is just
100. Adam, you require
continue
140.
to putting the pressure on Hunt. I don't think Adam Hunt can relax. I don't think he'll understand what the situation is all about. I don't think he realises he's qualified already. But
78.
that's a lovely last
Do you
start
require
there.
106.
106 for 2-2.
$90. Adam, you require
At some
62.
point, you've got to feel that this is really going to get to Stu Wilson.
It will if this goes. It's only going to be one dart or a double for Adam Hunt, or is it?
Yes. 30. Studio requires 16.
Big adjustment across the board to the double 4.
8.
Right on the outside wire.
Adam, you
This is where the
require
frustration
32.
really kicks in when you're getting so close, but it counts for nothing.
Game shot on the 4 flag.
Well, it's 4 from 3 on
Adam
the
Hunt.
outer ring for Adam Hunt.
Fifth leg, it's Adam to throw first.
Adam
Game
Hunt serve out this game. Stu Wilson scratching his head there because he's had so much bad luck, so much frustration.
60.
Some days, some weeks, Stu, that just happens. You've showed signs of what you're all about, a challenge to a winner. And for me, it stems back from your first game with Adam Hunt, that wry smiles, because
140.
when you feel the leg has gone, the match is gone, you suddenly find the treble 20.
$78. $95.
This would be for a breaker for Stuart Wilson.
43.
Scores of 60, 78 for 43 for Adam Hunt. He won't be pleased as he tries to see out this game. Should go downstairs.
101.
I think he was actually going with the 16s as well to leave the 170. But what he's done is leave a bit of a bogey, so maximum required for Hunt.
$40. $137. $41. So you require 28.
Not happy with this leg. Let's just say that.
$14.
And when Stu Wilson looks back at this Group B campaign, I think them 3 darts pretty much sum it up. He's put himself in some fantastic opportunities, just unable to see them out. He hasn't been a million miles behind his players on the scoring phases.
43. So you
Another
require
1 from 8 on
14.
the outer ring. Can he correct it here? Because there's been absolutely zero pressure come from Adam Hunt in this one. A double 2.
12.
Madhouse.
$96. Do you require 2?
Yeah, that was a little wild.
No score.
And
And
you
we
just feel
require
you could have
100.
half a dozen at that double 1. And can Adam Hunt put this game to bed? It hasn't been pretty. He can do it. It's another chance
60.
for Wilson.
Do you require 2?
His last effort was a little bit wild. He raises his eyebrows there. I think he wants this match over as much as anybody. While the score is 3-1, you're still in it, Stu.
No score.
Just not to beat.
And we
Stewart, he
require
shouts.
40.
And Adam Hunt wins the game
Game
4-1.
shot and the match.
Adam Hunt is the
Adam
final
Hunt.
piece of the jigsaw for what should be a sensational finals tomorrow night. All to play for the Hunter. And what an exciting game we've got coming up for tomorrow night. But Adam Hunt sees out that game 4-1. fantastic on the outer ring. He moves to finals night.
Indeed he does. Thank you very much, Glenn. Matt Edgar alongside me up here on the balcony to assess what we've seen this evening and what looked like at times what could have been a drama-free evening was anything but.
Said at the very start of the night, though, it was one of those sort of evenings where you're looking at the table and you're looking at the fixtures, you go, this could be over after 2 games and we could have 7 or 8 games where it's not really going to be affecting the table. But it ended up coming down to the very, very last game and sort of the very last couple of legs there. Adam Hunt needed 2 legs in that last match. He got them quite early. Played very well at times tonight, Adam Hunt. And I did say on commentary that I feel that he's going to be the guy that might just show us that little bit of class going into tomorrow.
Well, let's have a look at the results then from tonight's session, just to round up exactly what we have seen in Group B. As far as Thibaut Tricol is concerned, it's a good night for him, but realistically, the damage was done yesterday.
It was, and I say the damage was probably done in the game against Adam Hunt as well. He went 2-0 up in that game. Adam Hunt did play extremely well to turn that around. His average rocketed up to the 92 mark from down near enough by the 60s. But Thibaut Tricol, 2-0 up. There was that leg that got him 2-0 up as well, where both players were missing lots of darts at the double. Adam Hunt just put his head down and got on with it, where Tricol just carried on missing and just had a bit of lag from that moment.
As far as the group is concerned, it was dominated by Paul Hogan, Crocodile Dundee, who's been, well, playing some of the best darts that we've seen from him in a while.
Yeah, the past month has been very good for Paul Hogan. Glenn Durrant was speaking about how well he played at the seniors. He beat Scott Mitchell in the opening game there. And I've said it many times tonight, you start writing Paul Hogan off, and how many times has this happened, though, throughout his career, where people have started to write him off, and then he just finds something extra. He qualifies for a big event, he goes and wins a title, and just reminds you the quality that he possesses.
Most certainly, and we saw some quality from Chaz Barstow towards the end of the evening. It was a slow start for him, but look, if you're going to save your best with a 167.
What a game that was as well. Most of the match running well over 100 average throughout, and he really shown us that Chaz Barstow quality. It'll be good to see him through. It'll be nice if he can get some support down here tomorrow night. I know there's going to be quite a lot of people down here from what we've heard so far in regards to the tickets that have gone out. Now Barstow's in, I'm sure family and friends are going to wake up in the morning, see him through. We might even see this place full tomorrow night.
He may well be, and we're going to see Adam there as well. We can show you how he qualified here. And he did a couple of legs against Stu Wilson, and in the end, he made no mistake of that.
I think the mistake really was from Stu Wilson, just kept giving him opportunity after opportunity, especially in that last leg of that match. And that's sort of been the story for Stu Wilson throughout this week. But there's plenty still to play for tomorrow for both of these players. Stu Wilson will be coming in to take on Grundy for one of those ADC belts. Meanwhile, Adam's going to be here trying to get that place in Champions Week and the £5,000.
Well, let's have a look then at the final standings in Group B, because we can confirm Paul Hogan is the victor. 12 points to his name. Adam Hunt on 10. Chaz Barstow on 8 points. But the surmountable legs difference means that Thibaut Tricol, the French touch, has been eliminated. Right, that is how the table rounds up. Let's see how the groups occupy themselves for tomorrow evening. This is a first glance of what we've got to look forward to tomorrow night. Let's begin with Group 1, because the top 2 names there, Berry Van Peer, Robert Thornton, that is just nasty.
I think the whole group is quite nasty, really. So whoever goes out of that group is probably going to feel a bit harshly treated. That could be a Champions Week finals night group, that one right there. And it makes my prediction of Adam Hunt potentially being the man to come through this a little bit more tentative, because he's going to have to really go some to get through both Robert Thornton and Berry Van Peer. But one thing we do know is Robert Thornton has not played his best darts on a Saturday night. He's not going to like what he sees when he sees that group.
That's a bowl of sick group, isn't it? To go back to your famous analogy.
Paul Nicholson's, actually, that was when he talked about ordering some fancy dish and ended up with a bowl of sick instead of it. That's kind of what you get there. You get through to Saturday night, you think, oh, happy days, I'm going to be with the opportunity to win so, and now you've got to go through potentially one of the hardest groups we've ever seen.
Well, it's going to be some night tomorrow, and we're looking forward to it, aren't we? Very much so.
Yeah, it's one of those sort of groups that, or one of those evenings where I don't think we can really hang our colours to something and say that player's the favourite. Be really interested to see how the bookies split these up tomorrow and see what they think is the favourite. I think they're going to go with Barry Van Peer on the fact that he's top of the Challenge Tour Order of Merit in the year that he's had, and he's won on this stage before. I think that's going to be a big telling factor. But I don't see where the favourite is tomorrow. I think it's all to play for.
We're going to find out tomorrow night. Matt's going to be in the company of the 2015 World Champion, Scott Mitchell, for all of the action. I hope you can join us as well. We're going to begin at 7:30 here on the Super Series YouTube channel before joining our friends over at Sporty Stuff TV from 10 p.m. to see the semi-finals and final culminate. But as far as Group B is concerned here at the Super Series, it is Crocodile Dundee who is top of the pile. Good darts, mate.